This is the Louie Tee Network.
Louie Tee Live. Who else could it be but me, your man, Louie Tee? Welcome to Louie Tee Live. Live and in color. Don't diss the man cause I'll bum rush your mother. Listen what I'm saying, I'm for real, I'm not playing. Louie Tee is the man, so hit your knees and start praying. Y'all know about that nation of domination, man. Looking to dominate Wednesday nights over here on the Louie Tee Network. Feeling good tonight. And got a couple announcements for y'all. Came to y'all a little bit early. I know you're like, wait a minute, let me look at my, is it 9:30 yet? 8:30 for some of y'all, 7:30 for some of y'all, 6:30 for some of y'all? Nah. Came to y'all a little earlier today, man. In an event to try to make some things a little bit more convenient in my life. Gonna move some things around and become a little bit more, how shall we say, efficient with my time. And starting next week, the Redskins Report Live will move to Tuesday at 8, keeping it same time slot, just a different day. And this program here, Louie Tee Live, will move from the 9:30 slot to the 8 o'clock slot on Wednesday. So we will start earlier, finish earlier, so I can get on with my life earlier. A lot of 1 o'clock, 1:30, 2 p.m. or 2 a.m. Show enders. Not good for the body, man. Not good for the body at all. So I'm going to start a little bit sooner in an event to try to foster a little bit more sleeping time for me. Sounds good. So I'm excited about that. So I'll keep reminding you throughout the course of this episode, so you know next week I'll be here a little bit earlier. And I know some of you guys enjoy the late time slot, and I'm sorry, but this is about me. Me being selfish. Me time. And having the ability to say, I'm out of here about 10:30, 10 o'clock. I'm going to wrap this thing up quickly. So you guys will have to come tune in a little bit sooner. 8 o'clock on Wednesdays. Going to be the new time for Louie Tee Live. That being said, welcome to the program, guys. If this is your first time here, subscribe to the Louie Tee Network for more great content in 2016 and beyond. We're changing the game over here. Want you to help me do that by hitting the red subscribe button. As it's a lot of big things going on here on the Louie Tee Network and some changes taking place. I just gave you one time slot change. A lot of different things going on, and I want you to be a part of it. So help me change the game by hitting that subscribe button and becoming a member of the Louie Tee Network. Also, I'm on Twitter. @InTheLabRoom is the Twitter handle. All of my social media platforms are somewhere around here. Maybe, yeah, right there in that TV, right up on my, over my, what is that, right shoulder, I guess, left shoulder, I don't know. Don't ask me, I don't know. But I'm on Twitter. @InTheLabRoom is the Twitter handle. Like today, made a quick subtle change on you guys. Came in 15 minutes early. That's going to help you know when I'm going live. You never know when an impromptu live video is going to happen. Like when the Jags were getting thrashed a couple Thursdays ago, and I decided to jump on and talk about Gus Bradley and his job security. You never know. And the best way to actually be a part of those, subscribe to this channel, obviously, and turn on your notifications. Another way, maybe even the most efficient way, is Twitter, @InTheLabRoom, following me there and turning on your notifications. It's a game changer. Make sure you do that because I'm telling you, man, a lot of things going on here. You don't want to miss any of them. Also, Facebook. I'm on Facebook. In the Lab Room is a Facebook page. And again, I am going to start doing some different things on Facebook. You should want to get ahead of the curve. Don't wait until it's too late. And I'm not saying it'll ever be too late. Oh, man, you can't get in now. It's full. There's no such thing as full on Facebook. So you just want to be ahead of the curve. You don't want to miss something because I put some exclusive content up there and you had no idea it was there. Don't do that. So get in there early. In the Lab Room is the Facebook page. Go ahead and like that page. that being said, let's get to something different this week. We're not going to do the rookie wall. I'm going to bypass that this week. We'll pick back up with the rookie wall next week. I had a lot of things going on today, and I thought, it'd be nice to have a little change of pace. I had a viewer say, hey, man, you should do fill in the blank. And I said, you know what? That's a good idea to myself. And so we're going to do that. So we're going to do something a little bit different tonight. I'm not going to do the rookie wall. We're going to jump straight into Looky, run through the program, and then we're going to do something a little bit different. So let's jump into what happened last week in week number 9 in the National Football League. In only the way we know how here on Louie Tee Live, that's Looky.
Looky, I got hooky.
Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me.
All right. So we're going to jump into Looky this week and talk about all the games, man. There were some big matchups, some big showdowns. A lot of family business was being handled last week, and some teams came out smelling like roses. Others, man, smelled like some straight-ish. So some big games took place. Some teams lost some games we probably weren't expecting them to lose. So let's jump into Looky for week number 9. We start on Thursday Night Football. The Atlanta Falcons handling and getting a little bit of revenge. Exacting a measure of revenge. Revenge is a dish best served ice cold, and the Atlanta Falcons were cold-blooded on Thursday Night Football as they smoked the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, avenging their week 1 loss at home to these very Buccaneers. Hell, Buccaneers were riding a 3-game winning streak over the Atlanta Falcons. That is no more, as the Buccaneers got spanked at Raymond James Stadium. And frankly, they've been getting spanked there a lot lately. Haven't won many home games in the last 4 or 5 years. They need to turn that around because it is becoming a bit of a trend, losing at home. Falcons go to 6-3 on the season after the win. Look very impressive doing so and have really taken a stranglehold of that division. I will say this, though. The New Orleans Saints, they're not falling off. They're 4-4 now. After beating the San Francisco 49ers, they've gotten back to 500. We'll see what happens with that Saints football team. But the Falcons right now, sitting at 6-3, are the class of the NFC South. The Dallas Cowboys at the Cleveland Browns. A lot of people talking about, oh, it's a trap game. Watch out, Dallas. It's a trap game. I told my dad, who is a Dallas Cowboys fan, hey, man, enjoy your bye week. He said, what bye week? I said, you're playing the Cleveland Browns. You get a second one this season. He started to laugh. I said, oh, I'm just kidding, man. Any given Sunday, yada, yada, yada. That's what they say. You're going to win, and it's going to be easy, and it was. Cowboys dominate the Browns 35-10. The game was never close. Cowboys dominated start to finish. Jason Witten with a huge day, 8 catches over $130, scored a touch. Ezekiel Elliott would have had 100 yards if he kept running. Didn't need to. 18 carries, 90-some-odd yards, a touch or two in this game in his return to the state that made him famous, Ohio. Got it done. Cowboys continue to roll 7 straight victories as they go to 7-1 on the season with a 35-10 victory. Browns go drop to 0-9. I don't know when they're going to win. They're on Thursday Night Football this week against Baltimore. Go ahead and make it 0-10. Why don't you? We'll see if they can get it done on Thursday night or not. Kansas City Chiefs at home hosting the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Chiefs got it done. It was not pretty. It was not easy. If not for some Jacksonville Jaguar mistakes, maybe the Jags come out with a victory there. But unlike their last win in Chicago, they weren't able to have late game heroics as the Chiefs were able to hold on. This is a very banged up Chiefs football team right now, but they're going to get Alex Smith back next week. They're going to get most likely Spencer Ware back from a concussion. So things are looking up for them, but they had a bunch of guys in the game that they're not used to seeing. Jeremy Maclin left relatively early in that game. Travis Kelce was ejected in the third quarter of this game. So they were without pretty much all of their offense, and they still were able to get it done in this football game. It was not pretty, like I said, but then again, how many Chiefs games are pretty? Doesn't matter. The end result was pretty, and that's a W. They're now 6-2, the quietest 6-2 you've ever seen in your life. No one's talking Chiefs football. That's the way that they would prefer it to be. They're 6-2, waiting in the wings, in the shadows, behind the Denver Broncos. No longer behind the Broncos, who lost to the Raiders, but just slightly behind the Raiders, a team that they went into Oakland and beat just 3 weeks ago. Don't sleep on the Chiefs. They're playing good football, and they're 6-2. Meanwhile, the Jacksonville Jaguars continue to struggle. What else is new? Jags are now 2-6 on the season. Miami Dolphins at home hosting the New York Jets. This was one of those games that I talked about, family business, at the top of the program, where got to take care of business within the family, man. Got to find a way to win, and the Dolphins were riding a 2-game winning streak going into their bye. They come out of the bye, and you're thinking, let's see if they're going to have a little bit of a hangover off that bye. No such luck for the Jets. Dolphins come out, take care of business. There were opportunities for the Jets to steal this game. As a matter of fact, they had the lead late in the fourth until they give up a kickoff return for a touchdown to rookie Kenyon Drake out of Alabama, who runs it in and gives the Dolphins the go-ahead score. And the Dolphins win this football game 27-23 over the Jets, who did lose Ryan Fitzpatrick for a brief moment in this game. He did come back and finish. Now the question is, can he come back next week? A lot of Jets fans want to see Bryce Petty, want to see a different quarterback in there other than someone named Ryan Fitzpatrick. We'll see what happens, but Fitzpatrick is telling everybody that, well, listen, hey, I'm good enough to play. They need to put me in the game, so we'll see how that saga solves itself. But the bigger question, or I should say the bigger story leaving this game, is the Dolphins have won 3 in a row, and they're now at 500, and they've got a monumentally huge game next week versus the San Diego Chargers in San Diego. Winner of that game is going to really have a legit shot at getting back into the playoff picture. Loser of that game probably going to kiss their season sayonara. We'll see what happens there. Big win for the Dolphins as they get back to 500 with their third straight win, 27-23 over the Jets. Minnesota Vikings at the Detroit Lions, Minnesota Vikings at home hosting the Detroit Lions. This was another huge family business matchup. If these two teams say they ain't did it, then they ain't did it. But if they did, well, you already know that's family business. And man, this one came down to the wire. Vikings score late to give themselves a lead in this ball game. After trailing for much of this game, 9-13, the Vikings score with mere seconds left in this game. But that was not enough, as they gave up a big chunk play to Matthew Stafford, who was then able to spike the football, giving Matt Prater an opportunity to knock home a 58-yard field goal, which he did, knotting the game up at 16. Lions would win the toss to overtime, and Golden Tate would get into the end zone and win the football game 22-16. Heartbreaking, crushing loss for the Vikings, who thought they were going to snap their 2-game losing streak. Now that streak sits at 3. Meanwhile, the Detroit Lions continue to play good football, winners of 3 out of their last 4, 4 out of their last 5. And so now this is a team sitting at 5-4, playing some of the best football they've played all season long. And don't look now, the Detroit Lions, yes, the Detroit Lions, led by head coach Jim Caldwell, who everybody wanted to run out of town, and Matthew Stafford, who everyone said is a marginal quarterback at best, now sit in second place, a half game out of first place over the team that they just went into their building and beat. This Lions team is for real, and now they've got their eyes set on first place. Look out for the Detroit Lions. Huge win on the road in the division, taking care of some family business in epic overtime style. 22-16. Lions get the victory. Eagles at the Meadowlands, taking on the New York Giants. Another huge family business matchup. You see the theme here? Do you see the theme that's going around here? A lot of family business in week number 9. And this was a big game because the loser would go directly to last place in the division. They would not pass go, would not collect $200. Loser goes straight to last place. The winner would assume second place in the NFC East division. So this was a big game for both parties involved. And the Giants found a way to get it done. A barrage of touchdowns from Eli Manning early put the Eagles in a tough spot. They did come back, however, and make this a ball game. However, they fell short. Eli Manning, 4 touchdown tosses in this game, leading the Giants to a close victory over the Philadelphia Eagles as the Eagles drop to 4-4 in the season. Giants go to 5-3, and this is a dangerous Giants football team if they can figure some things out, including how to run the football. It's easy. You turn around and you hand the ball off to the guy standing behind you, and you actually try to go forward, not sideways or backwards. If they can figure out how to run the football, this could be a dangerous Giants football team moving forward. They get the win, go to 5-3, and they own the only win over the Cowboys this season. So in second place right now, back 2 games, the Giants could be within striking distance. If they can get a win on Monday Night Football versus Cincinnati, and the Cowboys could lose against the Pittsburgh Steelers on Sunday, that could be a big win for the Giants come Monday night and a game closer to the Dallas Cowboys in the very ultra-competitive NFC East division. Big win for the G-Men. Pittsburgh Steelers at the Baltimore Ravens. More family business. Told you week 9 was chock full of goodies, full of family members fighting one another. And this was another one of those games, hotly contested, not a lot of offense, a lot of defense involved by both teams. Special teams heroics gets the job done for the Baltimore Ravens in this game. At one point, they were up 21-0, seemingly in control of this game before giving up 14 unanswered points and allowing the Steelers back in this game. However, a failed onside kick would be the final fate of the Steelers in this game as the Ravens hang on 21-14. One big play offensively, one big play special teams wise got the job done in this game for the Ravens. A 95-yard Mike Wallace touchdown and a block punt by Buck Allen scooped up by Moore, their rookie wide receiver out of Cincinnati, gets them the victory in this football game. Still, a lot of questions for the Ravens on the offensive side of football, but they were able to beat their arch nemesis in the Pittsburgh Steelers. Roethlisberger very rusty in his return from the knee injury, but he did start to heat up late in this ball game, which could be a good omen for the Steelers moving forward. The run game was non-existent as the Ravens shut down Le'Veon Bell. L.Bell struggled to get anything going in this game, but I think the Steelers figured out some things late in this game. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. We'll figure that out next week, but the Steelers, who were in first place at the time of this game, now find themselves in a first place tie with the team that just beat them. So technically the Ravens are now in the driver's seat in the AFC North division. That is a very bad division right now. Steelers lose, Ravens win. Ravens get back to 500 and snap their 4-game losing streak with the 21-14 win. Carolina at Los Angeles. This was one of those games that I told everyone that I could get a hand on or ear. Lend me your ear so I can tell you that this was a bad football game. Don't watch. Close your eyes. If you got little kids, take them out of the room right now. This is graphic. Okay, that game was horrible. Case Keenum, once again, not able to get the job done. Cam Newton took some more vicious hits that wasn't flagged. Understand that the league, they have to start doing something about this. It's starting to get out of hand. Nonetheless, the Panthers found a way to win this game 13-10. It was not pretty. It didn't need to be. It was gritty. It was a W. And it's the second in a row for a Panthers team that's still trying to pick up the pieces from a 1-5 start. They get it done on the road against a Rams team that had started the season 3-1, has since lost 4 straight, and I don't see a win coming in sight. Remember, everyone's looking for Jared Goff, the number 1 overall selection. He's still not ready, and the Rams have come out and said, hey, you're not playing until we're out of the playoff picture. Well, that will be here very shortly. Get him ready. He's going to go in the next 2 weeks or so. New Orleans Saints at the San Francisco 49ers. Colin Kaepernick and company looking to snap their losing streak that now sits at 7 games. At the time, it was at 6 when this game took off. But they were able to do some things offensively in the first half. Problem is that defense is just as bad as the offense is. And now they can't stop anybody from running the football. They've given up 4 straight 100-yard rushers, or is it 7? I think it's 7 now. 7 straight 100-yard rushers, a 100-yard rusher in each of their 7 straight losses. Mark Ingram added his name to the list. A big 75-yard touchdown run was the highlight of all the points scored by the Saints in this game. 41 to be exact, as they won this football game, 41-23. Don't let the score fool you. This score was actually an 11-point score and an 8-point score, a 1-possession game going into the fourth quarter. at 31-23 before the Saints ran away and hid with a 41-23 victory. Drew Brees, another outstanding performance. Their rookie wide receiver Michael Thomas continuing to light it up. 2 more touchdowns for the Buckeye rookie as he continues to set the league ablaze with his play. And so the Saints, after starting the season off, and they seem to do this every year, very sluggishly at 1-3, have now found themselves at 4-4 on the season after playing some catch up and winning some games. This Saints team now starting to turn things around. 2 straight wins, got it done. Now they're back to 500 on the season at 4-4. You go to the next game up on the docket, Green Bay at home versus the Indianapolis Colts. Remember when Lambeau used to be a sacred place that most teams couldn't go into and win? Those days are now over. The Packers lose their second game of the season at home. Remember, they were trounced earlier in the season by the Cowboys. And then they were dominated in this game until late when Aaron Rodgers turned it up and the Colts started to take their foot off the gas pedal. But they started off the game giving up a 99-yard kickoff return to Jordan Todman. That was a bad omen for the Packers, as they would never have the lead in this football game, losing to Indianapolis. Andrew Luck made some huge plays down the stretch. Packers had scored on 2 straight possessions to make this a close ball game. It was 31-13 at one point before Aaron Rodgers ripped off a couple of scores and gave the Packers a chance at 31-28. All they needed was the football back once more to have a chance to tie or win with a touchdown, and Andrew Luck made 2 huge plays, including shrugging off a blitzing Clinton Dix on a 3rd down to find a wide open T.Y. Hilton. That was Jack Doyle on that play. And then on the next set of downs, finding a wide open T.Y. Hilton to ice the game as the Indianapolis Colts go into Green Bay and win 31-28, a win that they desperately needed to get back in the win column and give themselves a chance in that wide open AFC South division. The Colts now sit at 4-5, still looking for that all elusive 2-game winning streak this season. See if they can get it in this next upcoming week of games. They need to find a way to get back to 500. That division is still sitting right there waiting for them if they want it, but they have to stop being inconsistent. Huge win on the road versus the Packers. I think the biggest takeaway from this game is the Packers aren't who we thought they were. This team is struggling right now. They lack an identity, and they have a ton of injuries. If they get healthy, maybe they can turn it around, but right now we're asking, who are these guys? We don't know them. San Diego at home versus the Tennessee Titans in a shootout. Both teams scoring a boatload of points. Too many turnovers by the Tennessee Titans. Mainly Marcus Mariota accounting for those turnovers was the difference in this game. Mariota fumbles the football. It's scooped up and scored. Mariota throws a pick 6 in this game for another touchdown. The Titans had 3 turnovers, resulting in 17 Charger points, which proved to be the difference in this game as the Chargers get it done over the Tennessee Titans. 43-36, I believe, 37, 35, I think it was. Either way, the Chargers get it done in a shootout. And now they are in a big position to get back to 500 with a win over the Miami Dolphins. I talked about that game being huge. The winner of that game is going to have 5 wins. And that's going to be huge for both teams involved. So both of those teams started out the season very sluggishly with a bunch of losses. Now they've been playing better football of late. This is a big game for both of those teams if they're looking to have any chance at getting in the postseason in the AFC. You look at the Denver Broncos at the Oakland Raiders. And this was the biggest matchup among family members this weekend past. And we thought that this was going to be a huge game, and it was. The atmosphere was electric. The Raiders fans showed up in drones, and the Raiders dominated and gave them a show to remember. I told you the league is fun, and I was talking at the barbershop with a bunch of people, and I was telling them that the NFL is just better when the Raiders are good. It's sort of like the NBA being better when the Celtics and the Lakers are good. The same thing with baseball, when the Yankees and the Red Sox are good, when the Blue Bloods of the league are good. It just makes for better product because, you know, either you love them or you hate them, but you want to see those polarizing teams being in the forefront. Much like the Dallas Cowboys. League is better when the Cowboys are good. You either love them or you hate them. Patriots, you hate the Cowboys or you love them. You hate the Patriots or you love them. Either way, those are polarizing football teams. And when they're good, it's better for the league. And the Raiders are one of those teams. It's just better when the Raiders are good. And they're good. And they proved it on Sunday night versus the Denver Broncos, destroying the Broncos in that game 30-20. The game was not as close as the final score indicated. I don't even know if that's the final score or not. 31-20, something along those lines. In any event, they ran over the Denver Broncos, literally over 200 yards rushing in the game for the Oakland Raiders as they manhandled the Denver Broncos in that ball game and put the screws to them. Gave the fans something to be excited about going into the bye week at 7-2. Raiders now sit atop the AFC West division. Broncos dropped to third with the loss at 6-3 behind the Kansas City Chiefs, who are now 6-2. So things starting to get really interesting in the AFC West as the Oakland Raiders have staked their claim as the best of the best in that division with a huge win at home over the Super Bowl defending champion Denver Broncos. And finally, Monday Night Football. Intriguing matchup. Buffalo Bills on the road in Seattle at CenturyLink, and this turned out to be a doozy of a ball game. Wow, didn't see the types of points that we saw in this game coming, but it happened, and it was a very entertaining game with a number of controversial plays. What's new? Seattle, Monday night at home. What's new? Anyway, Tyrod Taylor takes his team down the field late in the ball game, not able to get the final score to give them the victory as Seattle is able to hold on 31-25 in that ball game. Russell Wilson, electric in the first half, not much from him in the second. Jimmy Graham, electric in the first half, not much from him in the second. Most of the damage done by the Seahawks came in the first half when they totaled 28 points, 21 of them coming in the second quarter. Only 3 second half points, but it proved to be enough as they were able to hold on 31-25. Impressive in defeat were the Buffalo Bills, but nonetheless, still a defeat. They're now 4-5 on the season. Meanwhile, the Seahawks go to 5-2-1 and have a commanding lead over everyone else in the NFC West division. So that's our look around the league. Looky. Let's take some of your comments, and then we'll move on to the college corner. See what you guys have to say. So, see what you got. Eduardo O'Neal says, hi, what's going on, Eduardo? Your Lions looking good, brother. Your Lions sitting at 5-4, half game out of first place. You should be proud. Celebrate! Your Lions are doing it up big right now. Tristan Brown says, what's up, Lou? How's everything going? Everything's going well, man. Everything's going well. And I know some of you guys got here late, and let me explain myself. So I started a little bit earlier today, 9:15. Get used to it, okay? Got some schedule changes going on, all right? So let me give you a little rundown of what's going on over the next couple of weeks here on the Louie Tee Network. All right, so making a change, a lifestyle change of sorts, if you will, all right? Tuesday night. Remember, Wednesday has been the big night. Redskins report live at 8, followed by Louie Tee live at 9:30. Well, that's going to change. Tuesday night is now going to be the Redskins report live. So same time slot, 8 o'clock, different night, Tuesday. That's going to allow me to take this program, Louie Tee Live, and slide it down into the 8 o'clock slot. So I'm going prime time, 8 o'clock slot on Wednesday with this program, Louie Tee Live. I know a lot of you guys love this later format, and that's great, but I got to get more sleep. Okay, these 12:30, 1 o'clock finishes are a killer. I already do it on Sunday and Monday and Thursday. Can't afford to do it on Wednesday as well. So I'm looking to get into the sack a little bit earlier. So this is going to give me that opportunity. So I'm shifting over the Redskins report to Tuesday nights at 8. This program will shift down from 9:30 to 8 on Wednesdays. So make sure you turn that calendar around and you hit that dial on your calendar that says 8 o'clock Louie Tee Live, or just turn on your damn notifications on Twitter. So when I go live, you'll get your little notification. Boop, boop. I'm live and you can show up and be a part of the show as always. So Tristan Brown says, I like to change the pace, keep it fresh, and I'm submitting my picks for week 10 now, thinking it over. Take your time, bro. You got until Thursday night football kicks off tomorrow. Don't worry about it. I'll get them. You send them, I'll get them. Make sure they're in before tomorrow's game. Luis Manzazari says, here in Brazil, we are in the DST, so it's 23 a.m. right now. Watch your man, Lou. Hey, I appreciate you checking me over in Brazil, man. That is awesome. I always get a kick out of people watching overseas in different countries, man. It is fascinating to know that you guys are watching at certain times. So for you, this is actually a great change because it'll get this program on a lot earlier. You'll actually be able to watch it in the PM. Still it'll be late as hell, but you'll be able to get more sleep too. So that's great, man. DG Production says, everything is rigged. Seahawks election. What is this world coming to? Ha ha ha. But for real, this ain't funny. Canada, here I come. I've heard more Canada's here I come in the last 24 hours than I've ever heard in my life. This is crazy. You guys are hilarious. All right, we're moving right along. Tristan Brown says, I told you we would get back to 500. I'm just hoping we can keep it up and maybe make a run for the playoff picture. You got a big one coming up this weekend. If you don't get this one, I don't think that's going to happen. But you made it back to 500. You said that it could happen, and it did happen. Now it's all about making the best of this opportunity. We'll see if you can do that. Got a tough one this weekend. See if you can get it done. All right. See what's going on now. Andre Mogul says, I was a Bulls fan and talking to a Jets fan, and he feels Bulls has a major role in their woes. How do you feel about his coaching so far? Look, Todd Bowles was dealt a really shaky hand. It was a faulty hand. Anytime Ryan Fitzpatrick is your starting quarterback, you have a problem on your hands. And last year, it was all peachy and keen because Ryan Fitzpatrick led them to a 10-6 record, and everybody ignored the fact that it was Ryan Fitzpatrick until week number 17 when Ryan Fitzpatrick pulled off the mask and revealed his true identity of Ryan Fitzpatrick and threw 3 interceptions, including 2 in the fourth quarter, that lost them the ball game. Bottom line is, you can't win in this league unless you have a quarterback that is capable of taking you to the next level. You can blame Todd Bowles all you like. This football team isn't good enough at the most important position in all of the National Football League. And that's why this team struggles. Not because Todd Bowles has done anything catastrophically wrong. This roster isn't the best. They don't have an abundance of talent on defense. They're getting older on that side of the football. They need to be better over there. They need to upgrade the quarterback position. You got 18 quarterbacks on the roster. How about sticking in one of those young guys in there and seeing what you have instead of moving along with Ryan Fitzpatrick, who you already know is a dead end and won't be on your roster come this time next year. So, again, you can blame Todd Bowles all you like. He's not the problem. He's not your biggest problem. If he is, in fact, a problem, that problem would be under center right now. His name is Ryan Fitzpatrick. And until you figure out that position, don't blame Ryan Fitzpatrick solely. You have problems all over the place, like your secondary not being very good this season, like your offense being inconsistent, which starts with the quarterback. You got problems in New York. Todd Bowles may or may not be a part of those problems, but don't blame him. He's not the biggest of your issues. Your quarterback position is. DG Production says, at this point, who could you see giving the Falcons a run for their money in the playoffs if there's a good officiating, of course? Well, you got to get to the playoffs first. And I'm not going to anoint anybody anything. I foresee the Falcons and the Cowboys being your top 2 seeds in the NFC come January. However, you got to get there first. And your division isn't wrapped up yet because New Orleans fails to die. They're 4-4 now. And even though you already beat them in New Orleans, they're still a dangerous team. You know this. They're a family member, so you have to tread lightly there. Just keep winning. Keep winning, and we'll figure out who's who and who's going to be competitive and who can come after you later date and time. Right now, just keep stacking up dubs like bricks. We'll sort them out later, and we'll figure out all the mess and all of that stuff later. Who's getting a ticket to the dance? Who's outside looking to get in? We'll figure that out a little bit later on. Just keep winning and make sure you got a ticket to the dance so that you get in and you've got a reserved table for you waiting inside. The Black Al Bundy says, what time do you start the show on Wednesdays? I don't get notified until you've already done the rookie wall, college, etc. All right, so today I didn't do the rookie wall, so you didn't miss that. I'm going to do something a little different today, so you didn't miss the rookie wall. I normally start at 9:30, but as I just told you, and I'm pretty sure that comment was written before I just explained myself, but I'll do it again because I'm going to do it throughout the night for all of you who are showing up late to the party. Next week, this program will be on at 8, and it will be on at 8 on Wednesday nights moving forward for the remainder of the season. Just a little bit of a sidebar while we're on the topic. The following week, I'm on a bye. I have my week number 11 bye. The week of Thanksgiving, no programming on this network other than the breakdowns of the games. So there will be no Louie Tee Live, not next week, but the week following that. There will be no Redskins report. That is a bye week for me. I will break down the games, but that is it. So keep that in mind. No Louie Tee Live, not next week, but the following week, the week of Thanksgiving, that is a bye week. I believe that's week 12. That will be a bye week for your man Louie Tee. So next week, 8 o'clock, Wednesday night, new time for this program. The following week, no Louie Tee Live, no Redskins report live, no programming throughout the course of that week. Thanksgiving week. Enjoy your family, enjoy the festivities. We'll reconvene the following week. So keep those things in mind. Moving on right along, we go. Mind Draw says, good night, Louie T. How are you doing? I'm doing wonderful, man. Magnificent. You know why I'm doing great? Because you joined me on this program tonight. That makes my night even better. Thanks for asking. The Black Al Bundy says, love you like a brother from another mother, man. The feeling is mutual. The feeling is mutual, my man. But my Vikes are really, really going to have to beat your Redskins on Sunday. No need to ask who you're taking. Hey, look, man, I understand the desperation here. It's at like cold red for y'all. I get it, man. We need it too. You know, we struggling too. So I get it. I totally get that you guys need this dub. I get it. I understand. But we need it too. So may the best team win. I'm hoping that y'all continue to struggle. We make it 4 losses in a row for y'all. But I know y'all going to come out with a level of desperation that we haven't seen this season. And I'm nervous. I'm not going to lie to you. I am nervous. But one thing that I'm not nervous about is your offense. And that gives me hope that we can find a way to beat you guys and get our 5th win of the season. We're just trying to get like y'all and get our 5th win of the season. That's it. So we'll see what happens. RG3 hashtag smoking at 3 hashtag 1000 hashtag dog pound says, do you think Jason Witten is a great tight end because players forget to cover him? Maybe because he's the slowest tight end in the NFL? I don't know. What do you think? I think Jason Witten is just savvy as hell. I think Jason Witten is just tough as nails. I think Jason Witten is just as reliable as it gets at the tight end position. I think Jason Witten is a Hall of Fame football player. That's what I think. I've been saying this for years. Jason Witten is as slow as molasses. How does he get open? Craftiness. Little nudge at the top of that stem of that route. Just a little shove, a little shoulder, a little lean in. All of savvy veterans are doing it. That's what you do when you've accumulated over a decade worth of experience. You know the tricks of the trade. You know how to get open. You know how to subtly push off and lean a shoulder in and push off without the official calling it. Jason Witten's been doing this for years, and he's great at what he does. I love Jason Witten. I hate the Cowboys with a passion. I do, because I'm a Redskins fan. It's in my blood. But I tell you this much, I love watching Jason Witten play. I have admirable respect for guys who have done it as long as he has at the level at which he's done it at. Jason Witten is a Hall of Fame football player, and I've been asking myself that same question you asked me. How in the hell is this man getting open? Why is he so damn slow and no one's able to cover him? It's because he's a crafty veteran. That's why. All right, let's see what we got. The Black Al Bundy says, if I happen to not put my picks in by the time Thursday night game, am I still able to put them in afterwards or not? You can put them in anytime you want. You're just going to get a loss for Thursday night because I don't trust you. You know, it's easy to put your picks in during the third quarter of the game when Atlanta's up by, 30 points and you're like, yep, I got the Falcons on Thursday night. Yeah, anybody can do that. But before the game, when you don't know if the Browns or the Ravens are going to win and you're kind of on the fence on who you want to pick, we need to know what your pick is before the game starts. So that's why I enact that rule, because once the game starts, it's easy to say at halftime, Browns down by 17. Yep, I knew the Ravens were going to win all along. Yeah, right. So that's why you can put them in anytime you like, man. You can put them whenever you like. Yeah, just know you're going to get a loss on Thursday if they're not in before Thursday Night Football. That's all. And Walter O'Neal says, no longer on the Mendoza line, man. We're going to see. We're going to look at those picks a little bit later on. Mind Draw says, I still remember when we went 1-3, and you gave us up for dead in the season. Just a quarter of the season, it seems like the tables have turned. Yeah, man, I left you guys for dead after you lost to Tennessee, and I still think that loss at home to Tennessee is going to be your undoing this season. When you look back on your season and you don't make it to the playoffs, if you miss it by a game, that Tennessee Titans loss at home is going to be the one you're going to look back on and say, how the hell did we manage to lose to those guys at the crib? I still don't think you're going to make the playoffs because of that loss. I said it then, and I'm sticking to it. But you're right there where you need to be. I haven't given up on the Packers, and I haven't given up on the Vikings. I think those are the two best teams in that division. We're going to find out, though. We're going to find out because right now, you're the best team. You're playing the best football out of all those teams. But are you going to be able to keep that up? Are you going to be able to keep up with the late game heroics? I don't know if Matthew Stafford and his Lions team can keep pulling rabbits out of their hat at the end of ball games. That's a dangerous way to live, and eventually you're going to run out of that magic, and then the real teams are going to show up, and you're not going to be able to get that done. So we're going to see what happens. But yes, I did leave you guys for dead at 1-3, and my oh my, this is why I talk about this league all the time. It's a week-to-week league, and things change from week to week. And hell, a month ago, this Lions team was dead. Now you fast forward to where we are now, and the Lions are a half game out of first place at 5-4. Who would have thought that this team would be where they are now after the start that they had to the season, including losing to the Tennessee Titans at home? Mondraw says, watching you straight from Monterrey, Mexico, defend the den. Hey, man, I appreciate that. It's amazing, all these eyeballs from different locations. And there's going to be a game in Mexico in a couple of weeks on Monday night, Raiders and Texans. So that should be exciting as well to see the NFL expand. Protect428 says, I think I went double digits with only 3 losses, Pittsburgh, Green Bay, and Minnesota. We're going to see. We're going to check. We're going to see. Black Al Bundy says, live, 8 o'clock, Wednesday nights. Gotcha. Cannon. Hashtag Roger that. Hashtag don't you worry about a thing. I appreciate it, man, because you know it ain't nothing but a G thing, baby. You know that. So it's all good. Slump TV says, which current celebrity would you want to have as president? None of them. I would like no president to be a celebrity. It's getting to the point now it's outrageous. And people just running for president just because they can. I remember when people used to come up with ideas like that. You know, Al Sharpton. Back in the day, Al Sharpton or some celebrity, some guy that just had a bunch of money, thought he could run. Trump, this isn't his first time thinking about running for president. You know, it was always someone thinking, hey, I can make a president. And we would laugh at them. They would get like 2% of the vote, and they would go sit down somewhere in a corner. Now we've gotten to the point now where cats like Trump actually run and win. It's insane, but it's the society we live in. Black Al Bunny says, Vikings, in a slump or showing who they really are? I think it's a little bit of a slump. These injuries will affect who you are. And so this is their reality now. These guys aren't coming back in 2 weeks from now. That line is damaged for the remainder of the season. They're going to have to adjust. And I know a lot of people killed them for the adjustment that they made. I actually thought it was a good adjustment. The short passing game serving as a run game of sorts, and it gets the football out of Sam Bradford's hands quicker. Look, 13 catches for 80 yards for Stephon Diggs doesn't scare anyone. You're not pushing the football down the field, but Sam Bradford can't stand back there, 5-step drop it, and get the football out without getting crushed. So you got to make adjustments, and the adjustment that Pat Shurmur made was short passing game. I thought it was effective, and it would have been good enough to win if the defense didn't play prevent at the end and prevent themselves from winning by giving up a deep 25, 27-yard completion to Andre Roberts and allowing them to spike it and get the 58-yard field goal. So we'll see what happens. Protect428 says, are the Jets rebuilding a rebuilding franchise? I think so. And here's the reason why. I think the quarterback position is one that obviously is a big deal for them. And you look at their roster, it's old everywhere. I mean, Brandon Marshall, old. Matt Forte, old. Darrelle Revis, old. You know, their best linebacker, old. They're old just about everywhere except their defensive line. That's the one place that they're young at. But you look around their football team and all of their major contributors, their key contributors at every position on their football team for the most part, old. Their offensive line, old. Ryan Clady, on injured reserve again for like the 4th straight year. The Brickashaw Ferguson just retired. Mangold, old at center. They're old everywhere. David Harris is that linebacker I was referencing. He's old. This is an old football team. So at some point, these guys are going to break down on you. You're going to have to replace them. And if you don't have the replacement in-house, you're going to struggle as a franchise. So, yes, I think they're a rebuilding franchise. Protect428 says, will Jamison Crowder be a number one receiver one day? I don't think so. It sounds good. It looks good. But it's hard for guys that are in the slot to be number one receivers in this league. It just is. So I think he's great at what he does. And I think he's a great asset for the Redskins. A great second, third option, but I don't think you want him as your number one option. But he's performing like a number one right now. I can tell you that much. But he's performing that way because of guys like Pierre Garçon and Deshaun Jackson and Jordan Reed taking the pressure off of him. That's why. If he was the number one guy and he was going up against the other team's number one corner, I don't know if he would still be winning as well, as he is in the slot. If he was trying to do that out wide. Generally speaking, your number one receiver isn't in the slot. That's just generally how it goes. Your number one receiver is out wide. So we'll see what happens with him. Protect428 says, who's your NFC teams for the postseason? Hard to say right now. Again, I don't like doing that, especially midpoint of the season. So much football left to be played. But, looking at the teams that are in right now, that sounds good to me. The Redskins would be in if the playoffs started right now. I'm cool with that. But bottom line is, it's a lot of football left to be played. The only two teams that I feel certain about right now are the two teams at the top of the conference, and that's the Cowboys and the Falcons. Everybody else, they're vying for positioning and trying to get in, man, like everybody else. Ra Flacco says, what do you think about Jamal Charles and my Chiefs? He's done a lot for my team, and I'm not ready to let him go, but is it over for him, and could he pull a AP? I think it is done for him, man. I really am starting to worry about him. He was supposed to come back, and then the knee was bothering him again. He gets a second opinion from Dr. James Andrews, and they decide to have another surgery. I think he might be on some Arian Foster-like type of into his career. I think he might be in his final days. He may try to come back once more just to prove that he can still do it, and then realize I can't do it and have to hang it up. But I think Jamal Charles has seen his best days, and they're behind him. And I think you're going to have to move on, and Spencer Ware and company are going to have to be the future of the running back position for the Kansas City Chiefs. Maybe they have to draft someone, but Spencer Ware and Charkandrick West and all of those guys are going to have to carry the load for you the remainder of the season, I believe. And your Chiefs, speaking of your Chiefs, 6-2, shh. Don't even talk about them. Everybody forgets about the Chiefs every week. They talk about AFC West football. They rather talk Chargers and how they started off, or they rather talk Raiders, or they rather talk Broncos. Don't tell nobody that y'all are 6-2. Don't say nothing. Don't say nothing. Don't even bring your boys up. Let them keep sleeping till you slap them in their face and wake them up. Love what your boys are doing. Quietly, under the radar, you're getting it done. RG3, hashtag smoking that 3, hashtag 1000, hashtag Dog Pound says, should the Packers draft that squirrel that was running around on the field because he or she has been in the end zone more than both Packers and the Colts? They could use that squirrel at running back. I can tell you that much right now. If the Packers could sit down and come to terms with that squirrel, that squirrel has some moves, man, and they could definitely use somebody to tote the rock out of the backfield. So if I were them, I would definitely see if I couldn't sit down and try to figure out some numbers and get that squirrel in the game next week, because they could use them against the Titans. They're struggling at the running back position. DG Production says, I just saw a commercial that said Thursday Night Football will be better. LOL. Good luck with that, with the Ravens and the Browns as your two teams playing in that game. Good luck with that, NFL. Yeah, right. All right. So with that being said, Protect428 says, my NFC playoff teams are Falcons, Cowboys, Seahawks, Lions, Redskins, Giants. Doesn't sound bad, but so much football left to be played. You got the Lions winning the NFC North Division. I don't see that happening, but it could. I just don't see it happening, but we'll see. In any event, let's get to college corner and knock this out real quick. So, this is a really quick topic for me. I'm going to give you my 5 big games. So there was a big upset. Mississippi State takes down Texas A&M. And in one fell swoop, A&M goes from the number 4 team in the playoff picture to way out of the race. And they even lose their quarterback, Trevor Knight, for the remainder of the season. So they go from a viable candidate in the playoff picture to just looking to survive the rest of this season. They're already bowl eligible, so you don't have to worry about that. But now, can they get into one of those big BCS bowl games? I don't even know with the state of their quarterback position. We'll see. But other than that, it all remains the same. Look, Washington was going to take that spot from them anyway eventually. So it just happened a little bit quicker. And so your top 4 teams, as expected, Alabama, Clemson, Michigan, and now Washington. And ultimately, I think that's going to be your Final Four and your playoff teams when it's all said and done. I thought Ohio State or even Louisville could get back in, but Clemson just refuses to lose. And they got a clear path to the college football playoffs now if they just win out. And it shouldn't be too tough to do that. So they've pretty much cleared all the obstacles in their way. They're pretty much home safe. And for Michigan, they could even lose to Ohio State and still get in to the college football playoff. It's not out of the realm of possibility. If they lose by 3 points on a last-second field goal, they'll probably still get in. If they get blown out at Ohio State, then that could change some things. But I see Michigan probably getting in. They've dominated all season long, even though I hate the fact that they've played 80 million home games and only 2 road games this season. But the biggest game of the season is going to be on the road, and that's all that matters. So my 5 top games for the upcoming weekend of college football. Number 5, Minnesota at Nebraska, who lost a heartbreaker to Wisconsin, had opportunities in that game and didn't get it done. And so now they find themselves at number 19 in the country, and they're 7-2. So is Minnesota. They should win this game, should Nebraska. But again, Minnesota been playing good football this season. You got to be careful of stepping in a trap there if you are the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Number 4, 2 ranked teams matching off in the SEC as LSU takes on Arkansas. Arkansas ranked 25th in the nation. LSU, after going toe-to-toe with the number 1 team in the country, just falling short, now are ranked 24th at 5-3. I think LSU is going to win that game. They're going to go on the road, beat Arkansas, and continue to bolster their resume and become bowl eligible with that victory, getting their 6th of the season. That's how I feel about that game. Number 3, Wake at Louisville. This is a huge game. Just from the standpoint of Lamar Jackson, putting that exclamation point on his Heisman Trophy campaign. He's already the Heisman Trophy winner, but he needs to just continue to put that icing on the cake. This is a game to go ahead and do that. Wake is not garbage. They're 6-3 on the season, and they've been able to do some good things this season, but they're not on the level of Louisville on the road. Louisville should take care of business. Expect them to do that, and I expect Lamar Jackson to continue to play his brand of football, score a ton of touchdowns, account for a couple more, and have Louisville winning that game in a landslide. So Lamar Jackson looking to strengthen his Heisman Trophy campaign. Number 9, Auburn on the road at Georgia. Georgia has an opportunity to get their 6th win, get bowl eligible, and play spoilers all in one fell swoop. Now, Auburn, everyone's looking at Auburn as the last opportunity for Alabama to go down this season in the regular season in that Iron Bowl matchup late in the season. And so if they can continue to take care of business leading up to that game, they're ranked 9th now. They could get as high as 5th or 6th in the nation if they continue to win heading into that matchup versus Alabama. That could be a huge showdown. We'll see what happens, but they first have to take care of a gritty Georgia football team that they should be able to handle, but we've seen stranger things happen. They got to take care of business in that football game. And then the number 1 game of the weekend for me is a big one in the Pac-12. Number 20, USC, who has been playing some red-hot football of late. Sam Darnold, their quarterback, has been razor sharp of late. And those athletes at USC starting to come alive against a Washington Huskies team that has everything at stake. Number 4 in the nation, finally cracked the top 4 in the playoff picture. And so now they're 9-0, looking to go to 10-0. They have to run the table. It is not optional. They can't afford a loss, unlike a Michigan team who could afford a loss and get in. They can't afford a loss. They must win this game. They're at home. They must protect their house. If they do that, they've got a great shot at getting into the college football playoffs, especially if they can get the Apple Cup later in the season versus Washington State to finish up their regular season schedule. So we'll see what happens. That, to me, is the marquee matchup in this week of college football. We'll see what happens there. Let's take some of your comments here and get rid of them, and then we'll move on to our next topic of discussion tonight. Andre Mogul says, everything you said on Bowles' topic, I agree. I told them the same. Yeah, that's how I feel. Andrew Kim says, just got out of work. What did I miss? You didn't miss much other than this week is the last week for this program being on in the 9:30 slot. I actually started earlier at 9:15 tonight. So, AK, just to let you know, 8 o'clock is the new start time for the Louie Tee Live program on Wednesday nights. The Redskins Report Live is moving to Tuesday nights at 8 to make space for Louie Tee Live moving to the 8 o'clock slot on Wednesdays in a attempt to get me more sleep. I need more sleep. Just like Doug Funny needed more allowance. Yodelay. Why? Because I do. I need more sleep. Why? Because I do. Like Doug Funny needed more allowance. So, RG3 hashtag smoking at 3 hashtag 1000 says, what do the Browns need to upgrade on defense because we playing like ish? They need to upgrade a lot of things. You got a lot of young players. That's first and foremost. And anytime you got a team full of young guys, you're going to have mistakes. You're going to have defensive breakdowns. Like you saw against the Cowboys, Jason Witten wide open on a corner route. Nobody around him. He catches it, walks into the end zone. As slow as he is, he was able to score a touchdown. Those type of defensive breakdowns happen when you got guys in and out of the lineup and you got young players on your football team. And so you just need these young guys to mesh and gel together. There's some guys there that I like. You know, Derek Kendrick at the safety position, I think is a guy that's a keeper that you want to continue to see play. Obviously, if you can keep guys like Joe Hayden healthy, you have cornerstones on this football team like Joe Thomas and Joe Hayden, but they got to stay healthy. Thomas is always healthy, readily, and available. Not the same can be said for Hayden, however, but I like some of the young guys. Emmanuel Ogbah has been a pleasant surprise this year. He's gotten you a couple of sacks and has been solid. Carl Nazib is another guy that I think is going to be good for you up front. You got a couple of guys. Xavier Cooper, I think is going to be okay. There's some guys out there that just need to continue to grow and mature. I think Christian Kirksey is a stud. And so there's stuff out there, but it's just got to mature. And it's got to mature together. You can't keep cycling in pieces in different parts and expect these guys to get better. You do need to upgrade the secondary, though. I think Tramon Williams is a liability. Joe Hayden isn't accountable, so I think you do need to upgrade the cornerback position. It seems like you just did that, but I think you need to do it again because I don't think that's a position right now that is considered a strength on that Browns football team. Rob Flacco says, what do you think about Jamal? I already read that one. RG3 hashtag smoking at 3 hashtag 10. Hunnit says, Seahawks versus Patriots, both teams going to cheat. What do you think? I'm going to leave that one alone. You'll know my predictions at the very end of the program. You guys are stupid, man, I swear. The Black Al Bundy says, does the NFL want Seahawks versus Patriots to cause the calls the Seahawks are getting a little iffy? No. They actually want these referee issues and problems to go away. So I don't know. Oh, so I got your name right. I know you sent me a message last week telling me how to say it. I actually forgot. I was trying to figure out what you had sent me again. I'm glad to know I got it right. Eric Jones says, how do you feel about the officiating? I don't have a problem with it. It is what it is. This is what I tell you every week. Don't allow the officials to be in a position to impact the game. That's my stance on that. You know how I feel about that. The officiating hasn't been great this year. It's been really bad, as a matter of fact. But if you're the Buffalo Bills, don't give up 21 points in the second quarter of the game. Don't give up 28 points in the first half. Don't throw an interception in the red zone when on your first possession of the second half of the game. Don't put yourself in a position where the referees can alter the outcome of the game. If you're the Redskins, don't complain about the pass interference call or the non-calls. Your kicker should make your kick from 34 yards. Don't put yourself in a position where the officials can screw you. Do what you need to do to win the football game. And yes, the officiating hasn't been great, But I keep reminding people that I'm one of these people that I love for you to take everything and put it in its proper perspective. When Cowboys fans used to always say, oh, we need to get rid of Tony Romo. He sucks. He throws interceptions. I said, do you remember what it was like before Tony Romo? Do you remember what it was like pre-Tony Romo? Because you can go back there. Chad Hutchinson, Quincy Carter, Drew Henson. Do you remember that? Because I remember that. You don't want to go back there. And the same thing can be said about the officials. Don't complain about the officials. Do you want the replacement officials back? Do you remember how bad that was? Because we could go back there. It was not pretty. These officials do a good job. They don't do a great job, but the game moves fast, and they do a really good job with everything that they have to look at. It could be a lot worse. Put it that way. It could be a lot worse. Trust me. It could be a lot worse. Tristan Brown says, how about that defensive slug out of LSU and Bama continues a great season? Man, that 0-0 game was crazy going into the fourth quarter. But you already knew that Bama was going to find a way to win. At least I did. I can't speak for anybody, but I never thought LSU was going to steal that game. Never. Their quarterback looked terrified in that game. Had open receivers, had opportunities. He was afraid. He was scared. And Bama just continues to do what they do, and that's just win football games. DG Production says, what's the point of college football if Bama will win anyway? It's most not fun to watch anymore. That's not true. They may not win. They may get all the way to the national championship and lose. We'll see what happens. Enrique Valencia says, do you see Washington beating Alabama in the playoffs? It can happen. I think of all the teams, they got the best shot because they got the athleticism. They can play defense, and I think their offense is actually good enough to threaten Bama. Whereas with Michigan, I'm like, Michigan's defense is legit and can compete with Bama, but I don't think they can score enough points to beat Bama. So I think they got the best shot, Washington does, but they got to get there first. Mondraw says, did you expect Penn State to do this good? I didn't. No, I didn't, but I'm happy for their head coach. After Christian Hackenberg left, there was a lot of rumors about his relationship with Hackenberg and, you know, what James Franklin needed to do to turn around the Penn State program and this, that, and the third. And, you know, was he the right man for the job? And it's good to see them in the position that they're in. I know they got a beast of a running back in Saquon Barkley, and they're getting the job done, man. And I'm actually pleasantly surprised to see them where they are. They're ranked 12th, if I'm not mistaken, maybe even as high as 10 now. I think they're up to 12 now, maybe 10, but they're knocking on the door of the top 10, and nobody saw this coming. That win over Ohio State a few weeks back was massive. Is Jabril Peppers going to be second defensive player to win the Heisman Trophy? No. He's going to get invited, and he's going to be the runner-up, but that trophy already has Lamar Jackson's name on it. All Lamar Jackson has to do is not get hurt down the stretch, and that trophy is as good as his. ProTap428 says, who's the best cornerback in the NFL? Where's Josh Norman in your rankings? Pat P is the best cornerback for me. For my money right now, I go Pat P 1. I think Josh Norman is in the 2 to 3 range. I mean, you could play around with a number of different names. I really like the New England cornerback, Malcolm Butler. I think he's really feisty. He competes. He's always right there. I really like Butler a lot. I think Desmond Trufant in Atlanta is really good too. I like his game a lot. I think Norman is in the top 3 though. I would go Pat P, Josh Norman, then I would go Butler, then I would go Desmond Trufant, I would go Marcus Peters, and then you start getting into the Darius Slays and all of those guys of the world, Xavier Rhodes and all of those guys start to fall into place. So, yeah, there are a lot of good corners in the league right now. Those are just a few that I just named. ProTech428 says, Pats, Cowgirls, Super Bowl. I don't know about that. We'll see. I don't see the Cowboys making it to the Super Bowl. I don't know if the Patriots make it to the Super Bowl. That's debatable. We'll see. RG3 hashtag smoking that 3 hashtag 1000 says, who's the greatest safety and corner in college? I don't know. I told you I don't know the players specifically. I know some of them. I don't know all of them. I don't really know how good guys are and who specifically is this or that until we get into the draft stage of things. So I would be remiss if I sat here and tried to act like I knew these guys ins and outs and be able to talk to you about them. So with that being said, let's move on to something different. Something that one of my viewers said, hey, man, why don't you do some mid-season awards, man? Why don't you hand out some mid-season awards? So I said, that's not a bad idea. So let's hand out some mid-season awards, shall we? All right. So I need you guys' help to do this. So simply, I'm going to ask you a question. I need you to use the hashtag Louie Tee Live to answer these questions, and we're going to discuss. The mid-season point of the season has arrived. Just about everybody's hit their bye. You got a couple more teams over the next couple of weeks that will be on their bye week, and then we will be done with the byes, and everybody will be playing football from here on out. And so we've gotten to a point now where we've been able to assess just about everybody. Everybody's played about 8 games now, so we're at that midpoint of the season for most. So with that being said, let's look at the midseason awards and figure out where we think some of these players, coaches, teams rank at the midpoint of the season. So the first question I have for you guys out there, and I'll give you my answer first, is who's the offensive MVP of the league right now? I think you've got really 3 choices. 4 if you want to throw Ezekiel Elliott in there. I don't want to throw him in there, but if you want to, knock yourself out. I think right now it's a 3 quarterback race. And if you want to throw Elliott in there, make it a 4-player race. But I think it's a 3 quarterback race right now. And really, for me, it's 2 players. But I know everybody wants to throw Brady in there and ignore the 4-game suspension. That's fine. I don't mind. But for me, my MVP of the league right now is Matty Ice, Matt Ryan. Guys had a phenomenal season. Hell, this time last year, we were questioning, was Matt Ryan still a high-level quarterback in this league? And now he's gotten an offensive line, and he shored some things up. And I think I'm the biggest culprit here and guilty of really jumping on him in the first year of a system. It's really hard in a first year of a system for a quarterback, especially one as complex as Kyle Shanahan's. And he struggled a little bit with the terminology and the nuances of it. And it was new for everybody, and they all struggled. And he didn't have the adequate protection up front to make it work. And so he struggled. And this year, he's come back with a vengeance. He's spreading the football around. There's a ton of weapons. He's being very judicious with the football, not turning it over, which was a bugaboo last season. I just think Matt Ryan has this Falcons team playing at a very high level offensively. And if they can figure it out defensively, this is one of the scariest teams in the league. Right now, for me, Matt Ryan is my MVP. You guys out there, speak. Let your voice be heard. I want to hear from you. Who is your offensive MVP this season? Mine Draw says, before any question, Stafford MVP. He's a homer. He's a Detroit Lions fan, but that's actually a solid prediction there. I don't think he's going to win it, but he's had so many late game heroics this season that his name definitely belongs on the ballot. DG Production says, Matty Ice. That's my choice. I'm sticking to it. Enrique Valencia says, Matt Ryan for MVP. The Black Al Bundy says, Derek Carr. That was my other guy. To me, it's a 3-quarterback race. Matt Ryan, Derek Carr, Tom Brady. You pick one of those guys. If you want to throw Ezekiel Elliott in there, knock yourself out. But I think one of those 3 quarterbacks are front runners right now for that distinction. Andrew Kim says, Ryan. Eduardo O'Neill, another Lions fan, says Stafford, obviously. RG3 hashtag Smoking at 3 says Derek Carr, Matty Ice, and Von Miller. So he threw a defensive player in there. We'll get to that a little bit later on. Tristan Brown says it's the 4 car. I think it may be the 4 car as well. I think he's doing some really good things. And if they continue to win the way that they're winning, he easily could drive right past and lap Matty Ice when it's all said and done. We'll see. Victor Martinez says MVP Zach Martin, LOL. Ha ha ha. Very funny. Sean Hawk Talks NFL says Derek Carr because he has to carry his defense. I think Derek Carr is definitely in the discussion. Andre Mogul says Matt Ryan for MVP. Offensive Player of the Year is a toss-up with Carr and Brady. We'll see what happens there. Enrique Valencia says if he's a team was any good, Drew Brees would be the MVP. Dude's insane. Already had his bye, and yet second in passing yards. Drew Brees is phenomenal. Drew Brees is absolutely one of the best passers of the football we've ever seen. I didn't say the best quarterback. I said one of the best pure passers of the football. Drew Brees is one of the best we've ever seen. So, with that being said, now I want to know who your defensive MVP of the league is. Who's your defensive player of the year? Okay? MVP of the league, I think, is going to go to a quarterback. Offensive player of the year, I think, is going to go to a quarterback. Who's your defensive MVP? Who's your defensive player of the year? For me, right now, by default, I really don't have a favorite here, but I think it's going to be Von Miller when it's all said and done. Notched another sack versus the Oakland Raiders. I think his 9.5 sack of the season. And so for me, it's Von Miller right now. Who do you guys see as the defensive MVP of this season, your defensive player of the year? Who does that go to this season? Let's see what you guys have to say about that. I think right now, for me, that guy is going to be Von Miller. Let's see what you guys have to say. As the comments start trickling in, Eduardo O'Neill goes with Khalil Mack. I don't think he's done enough. But last year in the second half of the season, Mack was the absolute beast that everyone thought he was going to be. It was a Mack attack, an all-out assault on the league last year at the end of the season. We'll see if he can get back to that this year. But right now, Khalil Mack has not lived up to the expectations that was set on him at the beginning of the season. Protect428 says Von Miller, which was my selection as well. Mind Draw says, maybe it's a Lorenzo Alexander, but I'm going to go more Landon Collins. He's carrying that New York Giants defense. Landon Collins has been playing outstanding football. Him and HaHa Clinton-Dix, both Alabama safeties right now, have elevated their level of play and are playing out of their brains right now. So Landon Collins, not a bad selection. Andrew Kim says Miller. Enrique Valencia says Von Miller. Sean Hawk Talks NFL says, I think it's too early to call. It is. I don't think any of these guys have stood out above the rest, which is why I said this is a by default selection for me. But right now, Von Miller, to me, is still doing what he does best, and that's get after quarterbacks. And so because of that, I think he is out in front right now. Andre Mogul says, no contest, Von Miller. Protect428 says, or possibly J-No if he turns up. We'll see what happens. A lot of football left to be played. That's why these are mid-season awards, not trying to project what happens moving forward. We're just talking about at this point of the season. DG Production says, Von Miller or Vic B if he keeps rolling because he is valuable to the Falcons. Luis Manzazari says, defensive MVP Von Miller, but CJ Mosley playing great. Victor Martinez says, Rhodes. He's talking about Xavier Rhodes for the Minnesota Vikings. And RG3 hashtag smoking at 3 hashtag 1000 says, CJ Mosley, Von Miller, or Luke. He's talking about Luke Kuechly. And Tristan Brown says, probably Von Miller unless someone steps up big. So a lot of you guys think it's going to be Von Miller. Most of us think it's going to be Von Miller, but there are some other intriguing names out there. We'll see if anybody steps up in the second half of the season. How about head coach of the year? I think this is a very intriguing discussion to have. There are a number of coaches who have done a lot with a little. There are a number of coaches who have done a ton with a lot. For me, I think there are a couple of coaches you could whittle this down to. I think Dan Quinn of the Atlanta Falcons in that discussion. Jason Garrett, obviously with the start that the Cowboys have gotten off to, you can definitely throw his name in that hat. But the guy that stands out to me right now who has made some huge and ballsy decisions that have helped his team off to a 7-2 start this season and atop their division is none other than JDR. Jack Del Rio, for me, is the head coach of the year to this point of the season. That call in week 1 to go for it 2 versus New Orleans has this team at 7-2. If they don't win that game versus New Orleans, because they couldn't stop New Orleans in that game. If that game goes to overtime and New Orleans wins the toss, they're going to win the game. And Jack Del Rio realized that and went for 2. And because of that call, they're sitting at 7-2. They lose that game to New Orleans. Remember, they go and lose to Atlanta at home the very next week. They start 0-2. You're telling me the Raiders are still 7-2 this season? I think not. They're 4-5, 5-4 at best if they start 0-2. And because Jack Del Rio rolled the dice and rolled it a ton of times this season, they're 7-2 right now. My head coach of the year to this point is Jack Del Rio. What about you? Let's see what you guys say. Victor Martinez says, Jason Garrett, hey, hell of a candidate. I told you on my ballot, it's Del Rio, it's Garrett, and it's also Dan Quinn of the Atlanta Falcons. Those are the three coaches right now that I'm looking at, and I'm saying, wow, you've done an outstanding job this season. Bossaholic says Dan Quinn. Again, another really good candidate there. Enrique Valencia says Jack Del Rio. Eduardo O'Neill says definitely not Caldwell. Andre Mogul says Quinning, #Quinning for president. JDR is close second, being biased. Nothing wrong with being biased, man. When your coach is doing a hell of a job, he's doing a hell of a job. Andrew Kim says close between Garrett and Rio. Protect428 says, bruh, shut that Holmes talking up, Gus. I'm dead, bruh. Oh, man. Enrique says, Gus Bradley, man. Get out of here with that nonsense, man. I feel like that fat kid on that one Just Say No to Drugs commercial where he's like, get that weak stuff out of here. Now get that nonsense out of here, Gus Bradley. He being funny, man. Gus Bradley for head coach of the year, man. Gus just trying to stay alive out there, man. Mind Draw says, it was Zimmer, but after that 0-3 has to be JDR. Doug Peterson has been making Wentz look like a pro, but they've fallen on hard times as well. DG Production says, Dan Quinn, he is in his second year and is bringing the Falcons a brotherhood mentality and has these guys working their ass off. I agree. That's why he's on my ballot as a head coach of the year potential candidate. RG3 #Smoking at 3 says Del Rio and Garrett are his two choices. Black Al Bundy says, but you know Tom Brady going to win the NFL MVP, unfortunately. You're probably right, but I'm staying away from Brady right now. I'm going with Matt Ryan and Derek Carr. Bossaholic says the Darth Lord Belichick. Yeah. You know what is amazing? I don't put him on the ballot, but if you look at the first 4 games without Brady, who would have thought they would have went 3-1? I mean, seriously. They had a chance to go 4-0 before getting shut out by the Bills in that final game without Brady. I mean, just that alone puts him in the discussion. But I don't want him to win it. I mean, look at all these other coaches doing stuff. I'm pretty sure Belichick's won it before. Like, give somebody else a chance. But if they go 14-2, 13-3 this year, how can you not put Belichick in that discussion after what he had to endure the first 4 weeks of the season? Their season could have went to hell in a handbasket those first 4 weeks of the season. If they start 1-3, they got a hole to climb out of when Brady comes back. Instead, they start 3-1. I mean, that's a masterful job coaching there. Sean Hawk Talks NFL says, Dan Quinn, he learned a lot from his experience last year and improved. I agree. I think Quinn, Garrett, and Del Rio, to me, the top 2 would be Quinn and Del Rio. But Garrett, again, can't sleep on that 7-1 start. They've been outstanding, and Garrett deserves some credit for coaching those guys up. Black Al Bundy says, I'm going to have to say Marcus Peters from KC. Guy's a beast and a terror in the secondary. He creates a lot of turnovers, but he'll give some stuff up too. But I love the Kansas City Thief, man. MP Double Deuce, Marcus Peters is my boy, so I don't have a problem with throwing his name in the hat as well. Next topic of discussion, Offensive Rookie of the Year. I think this one is a no-brainer. There were doubts early on as to who would win. I thought there were a number of candidates early in the season. I think this is a landslide. I think we know who it is, but you could even talk about his teammate if you like. But for me, it's Ezekiel Elliott. Double E has just taken the league by storm. He's not only leading rusher among rookie running backs, he's the leading rusher in the league, and it's really not even close if you're talking yards per game and all of those things, touchdowns. This guy's just been phenomenal. I don't see how anyone else could be Offensive Rookie of the Year unless you want to throw Dak Prescott in that conversation, and obviously he's deserving as well. But for me, it's Ezekiel Elliott and then everybody else when talking about Offensive Rookie of the Year. Andre Mogul says, funny, Belichick will probably get it. And you're probably right. Belichick probably will win Head Coach of the Year. Just like Brady probably will win MVP if he continues to play the way he's playing. But we'll see. I think these other guys have a legit shot. Andrew Kim says Elliott. Victor Martinez says Zeke or Thomas. Michael Thomas is playing outstanding football, but what Ezekiel Elliott is doing on a winning football team, you're not going to be able to beat that. But I do love Thomas a lot. Protect428 says Zeke the Beast. Enrique Valencia says Zeke. Mindraw says it's Taylor Decker. Haha. Really though, Zeke or Dak? Taylor Decker is playing his ass off. And had I done the rookie wall, he was eerily close to getting on it, because if you look at this Detroit Lions football team, what's the biggest difference outside of Calvin Johnson no longer being a receiver on his football team as to why they're playing better? And to me, the biggest thing to point at is fixing two positions with one selection. And that's taking Taylor Decker in the first round, inserting him at left tackle, and then moving Riley Reif to right tackle. And just like that, a weakness for this football team, the offensive line has become a strength. And Matthew Stafford has been able to dissect defenses late in ball games because of Taylor Decker and his ability to protect his blind side. So don't laugh at that, but he's not going to be, obviously not going to be the offensive rookie of the year. But Taylor Decker has been playing his ass off. That's for certain. Andre Mogul says, Zeke the Freak is legit. That is a fact. Okay, that is not a opinion. That is fact. Andrew Kim says, Jeff Fisher be like Jared Goff. LOL. Jeff Fisher. My man, Jeff Fisher. Bossaholic says, has an O-lineman ever won Offensive Rookie of the Year? Probably not. You know what? I won't say that, because there has to be a year where there aren't many positional players lighting it up and an offensive lineman comes in and is dominant. But, you know, it's so hard to really quantify what an offensive lineman is doing. That's why they get overlooked for the majority of their career. But I'd have to say most likely there hasn't been an Offensive Rookie of the Year that's been an offensive lineman, but it wouldn't shock me if there were an offensive lineman or two throughout history of the league that has won the Offensive Rookie of the Year. DG Production says, Zeke, but I don't think that he is that good, but he is good. Oh, man, you got to be hating there, because this guy is outstanding. He's a monster. RG3 hashtag smoking at 3 hashtag 1000 says Wentz. Wentz started out like game busters. He's cooled off considerably. He looks like a rookie quarterback now. First name, last name says, who you got for Defensive Player of the Year? We already did that. The MVP / Defensive Player of the Year. I already told you that I had Von Miller as mine. So with that being said, let's go to the next topic of discussion, Defensive Rookie of the Year. And for me, this is a wide open field. And I thought my man Sean Hawk earlier said it perfectly to sum up the way I feel about the Defensive Rookie of the Year. He said about the Defensive Player of the Year, it's too early to tell. And for me, Defensive Rookie of the Year is the same way. I'm undecided. That's my choice for this topic here. I just don't have anyone right now that I look at and I say, he's a clear-cut Defensive Rookie of the Year. There are a number of guys that have thrown their name in the hat, but none of them play for winning teams. None of them have been consistent throughout the year. I mean, Yannick Ngakoue started out hot. He was a savage earlier. He's been quiet, crickets of late, and the Jags aren't any good. So most people won't be paying attention to what he's doing. Joey Bosa jumps and bursts onto the scene with 4 sacks in 2 games, or 3 games, and hasn't done much the last 2 games. So you really don't have a guy definitively stepping up. You've got the young boys out in Atlanta playing ball, but again, the Falcons are good, so maybe they'll come along. But those boys have been performing on what's been an okay to porous Atlanta Falcons defense for much of the year. So hard to really say. Who do you guys have? I'm undecided. That's an incomplete for me right now. I don't have a Defensive Rookie of the Year. Let's see what you guys have to say. See what you guys got. Victor Martinez says, Zach Martin didn't win it, but he was an all-pro in his rookie season. Yes, he was, and he deserved it. Andre Mogul says, maybe the NFL needs to bring O-Lineman Year of the Award to the forefront. They need to. I think they need more recognition. These guys are, to me, the essence of what football is. They're the building block of any success on the offensive side of football. Without the guys up front, there are no Julio Joneses. There are no AJ Greens. There are no Dak Prescotts or Ezekiel Elliott's. Without the offensive line, those guys fail to exist. So, yes, I think the NFL does need to do a better job of giving these guys their accolades. Victor Martinez says, Blake Martinez, Defensive Player of the Year. You must mean Rookie of the Year. Andrew Kim says Bosa. Eduardo O'Neill says Jalen Ramsey. Bossaholic, or I skipped a ton of comments. The Black Al Bundy says, I think you could put any serviceable back behind Dallas's line and they get at least 900 yards rushing. Well, we saw it last year. Run DMC got over a G last year. Darren McFadden. Who's afraid of Darren McFadden? He got over a G last year. That line is just a beast. Captain Spartan 04 says, do I have to pick a team on the Jets versus Rams? I don't really want to choose someone. I said the same thing in my picks breakdown. Yes, you can leave it blank. You're going to get a loss for it, but that's up to you. Why not just pick a team and throw your name in the hat and see what the hell happens? That's what I did. I feel the same way you do, Cap. I did not want to pick a team for that game. That game is so bad. Enrique Valencia says Jalen Ramsey. Bossaholic says Neon Deion Jones. That boy is fast. DG Production says, I'd say Yannick Ngakoue or Deion Jones or Jalen Ramsey, quietly but good. All right. Andrew Kim says Tavon Young, Ravens bias. Enrique Valencia says TJ Green, more bias. He's a Colts fan. RG3 hashtag Smoking at 3 hashtag 1000 says Matt Judon, Sua Cravens, or Boza. Protect 428 says Sua Cravens. Tristan Brown says, are you going to do a breakout player? We can throw that in there. Sean Hawk Talks NFL says, I think it would be a linebacker winning, but I'm undecided. We'll see. All right. Mondraw says, has to be a safety, either Keanu Neal or Carl Joseph. Throw Deion Jones in there. Andre Mogul says, Deion Jones was a pick early, but a few more big games from him, but Boza may be out in front of him. And I think Boza right now is the leader of the clubhouse, coming on late, but still making an impact. The Black Al Bundy says, no rookie defensive player jumps out at me, and that's the way I feel. That's why I left this category blank. Andre Mogul says, Neal could sneak in as well. Mondraw says, Ashawn Robinson being sneaky good at the rookie defensive tackle class. So, someone just brought up, let's throw in another category. Breakout player thus far this season. Who is that guy for you? Who's the guy that you didn't really see this coming from, but this season has surprised you with his play and has been phenomenal this year and has jumped out at you and onto your radar screen? Who's your breakout player so far at the midpoint of the NFL season this year? For me, this is where I, myself, can take an opportunity to be biased. Everyone else is doing it. I'll take my turn. Jamison Crowder of the Washington Redskins has been a revelation this season. Not to say he wasn't good last year as a rookie, but in year two, he's also provided us with a little bit of something on special teams, has a punt return touchdown to his name, has been stellar in the slot, has been one of the best receivers, not just in the slot, but in the league this season. And so Jamison Crowder, to me, is a breakout guy. And how about another second-year player in Vic Beasley, a guy that I don't think most of us expected much of, yet he's got 7.5 sacks on the season, has been really good for the Falcons, and probably the biggest breakout player thus far at the ripe old age of, what are we now, 32, 33, maybe even 34 years old, Lorenzo Alexander of the Buffalo Bills with 9 sacks on the season. Nobody saw that coming this late in his career, getting an opportunity, making the most of it. To me, those are all candidates for breakout player of the year. What do you guys have right now? Let's run through some of your comments. Victor Martinez says Morris Claiborne. Before the injury, you could make a case for Mo Clay being in that discussion. Mo Clay was playing ball, the best I've seen in his career, and then unfortunately he gets injured. Enrique Valencia says Jack Doyle. Who knew Jack Doyle could actually ball? Jack Doyle is picking up where Kobe Fleener left off last year, playing some good football at the tight end position for the Indianapolis Colts. First name, last name says Derek Carr. That's a good choice. It's a really intriguing choice because I think a lot of us thought Derek Carr was good, but we didn't know how good he's performing at an MVP-like level. I think that's a really good pick there. Mondraw says, you already know it's Kerry Hyder Jr., who has been an animal on the defensive line for the Detroit Lions. I think he's up to 7 sacks on the season, if I'm not mistaken now. Protect428 says, JC Eyes, yeah. Nothing's better than eyes, JC Eyes, which is my man, Jamison Crowder of the Washington Redskins. Andrew Kim says, Michael Pierce for Rookie Defensive Player of the Year, undrafted for the Ravens, 2 sacks at defensive tackle, or Matt Judon, 3 sacks. Again, Ravens bias, nothing wrong with that. Andre Mogul says Vic Beasley. Yes, Vic Beasley has been savage this year. And again, I don't think much of us had seen that coming. And Walter O'Neal says Hyder. That's a good choice. 7 sacks at the defensive tackle position for a guy we've never heard of. Tristan Brown says Jay Ajayi, J-Train all the way. Sorry for the bias. No, don't apologize. 2 straight 200-yard rushing performances. 1 of 4 backs in NFL history to achieve that. There's no reason to apologize. Jay Ajayi definitely making waves out in Miami. RG3, hashtag smoking at 3, hashtag 1000. Melvin Gordon, another great choice. Another guy that I think I heard a lot of people comparing him to Trent Richardson last year. Shame on you guys for that. This man has been nothing short of remarkable for the San Diego Chargers. Leads the NFL in total touchdowns scored this season. He has been a revelation for the Chargers, and I think that is a hell of a choice there by RG3, hashtag smoking at 3. DG Production says Vic Beasley and Matty Ice compared to last year. Agreed. Black Al Bundy says Sua Cravens, breakout player for me. I knew of him at USC, seen some tape. I'm mad the Redskins took him before my Vikes were about to draft him. Yeah, that's a good selection as well. The injury kind of cooled him off a little bit, but he's made some plays this year for sure. Andre Mogul says, oh yeah, I like Jay Ajayi. He is killing it. I like that one a lot. Melvin Gordon, Jay Ajayi, a couple of really good suggestions made. Derek Carr, also another one in there. And so is Kerry Hyder Jr., who has 7 sacks for the Detroit Lions. Also another great option as well. Protect 428 says, one-man gang been balling. He's talking about Lorenzo Alexander, who has 9 sacks on the season, one of the guys I threw out there. Boss Haholic says, Tevin Coleman, before the injury, I might have given you that. Since the injury, I cannot allow that one to ride. Mind Draw says, Jay Ajayi, I'm so happy for him, expecting him to be a breakout since year 1. I think Jay Ajayi, J-Train, definitely on this list. Sean Hawk Talks NFL says, Cole Beasley for the Dallas Cowboys. He's been a stud for the Dallas Cowboys and Dak Prescott in the slot. He's been uncoverable this season. Cole Beasley definitely deserves to be on that list. Andrew Kim says, breakout hard to choose, but I'll go with Jay Ajayi, definitely. All right, so the next topic of discussion, surprise team this season. Now, I've broken this up into 2 categories. I want an AFC team and an NFC team. Surprise team. Don't give me someone that you're disappointed in. We'll do that next. We're doing surprise team in a good way. Who are the 2 teams that have surprised you, one from each conference? A team that you didn't expect much of this season, but they've exceeded your expectations by miles thus far at this point of the season. For me, in the AFC, it's the Denver Broncos. I thought they were going to be horrible this season. I thought they were going to be one of the worst teams in the AFC conference. I thought they were going to be at the bottom of that tough AFC West division. And here they are competing for first place in Week 9 versus the Oakland Raiders on the road. I didn't expect that. I thought they were going to struggle at the quarterback position. I thought the losses from the offseason were going to hurt them. I didn't think the defense would be as good. They're not as good defensively, but they're still good enough. I'm surprised by what I've seen from Denver this season. And in the NFC side of things, look, who expected the Dallas Cowboys with a rookie quarterback and a rookie running back to be 7-1 right now? Not me. So for me, the Dallas Cowboys are the surprise team in the NFC. Who are your 2 surprise teams? Give me an AFC and an NFC team for your surprise teams thus far. All right. While you guys are chiming in, Enrique Valencia says, I'd like to apologize for calling Melvin Gordon, Trent Richardson V2. Yeah, you were one of them last year. I accept, and so does he, your apology. It's okay. Mistakes happen. Mindraw says, was being biased, you may throw Stafford in there. Nobody expected him to be anywhere close to MVP talk besides Lions fans. I don't have a problem with that. I'm fine with that. Melvin Gordon got to stop the APX turnovers, though. That was earlier in the season. He hasn't been doing it as much lately. But, yes, you are absolutely spot on with that. Can't fumble the football. Those were some AP-esque turnovers earlier in the season. You are damn right. Spot on with that. RG3 hashtag spoken at 3 says you should do the most underrated player. Maybe we'll do that. I don't know. We'll see. Enrique Valencia says Cowboys and Raiders are his 2 surprise teams this season. 2 great choices. A lot of people thought that the Raiders were going to be good, though. A lot of people were drinking. Remember, there were a lot of juices being handed out. And among the cups that had the most sipped from them were the Raiders and the Jags on the AFC side of things. And so while the Raiders are a surprising team because they've lived up to the expectations, they're not a surprise to me because a lot of people, I think, expected the Raiders to be good this year. How good, we didn't know. I don't think any of us thought 7-2 good, but still, I think a lot of people thought the Raiders were going to be good. Victor Martinez says, my Cowboys in Denver. Same two that I went with. DG Production says Falcons and Raiders, which aren't bad selections at all because I had the Falcons being a bad team this year as well. But the Cowboys 7-1, my goodness, didn't see that coming at all. Andrew Kim says Titans and Lions. Two good choices. I thought the Lions would be solid, and they're solid right now. So I don't know if I'll put them in there. But after the start to the season they had, you could argue, yeah, Lions definitely after starting 1-3. Titans, I thought the Titans were going to be horrific. I thought they were going to be one of the worst teams in the league, and they're not. They did what they said they were going to do, and that's led to some wins, which is run the football and be stingy defensively and do some things that way. So I think the Titans do qualify for this. Eduardo O'Neill says Lions and Texans. I don't like the Texans one. They're 5-3. I actually thought they were going to be better than what they have been thus far. And the Lions do classify and qualify for this as well. Protect 428 says Chargers and the Cowboys. I thought the Chargers were going to be bad, but I still think that they could have been better. The Chargers are disappointing to me still because they should have won more games than they have. And the Cowboys definitely should be on everybody's list just about. Tristan Brown says Cowboys and Denver for sure. The Black Al Bundy says NFC would have to be the Cowgirls and the AFC, the Raiders. Yeah, Cowboys and the Raiders definitely. I think the Raiders were a chic pick before the season, so I don't know if that qualifies for everybody. Andre Mogul says Raiders and Eagles, but I don't know if anybody saw 7-2 first place for the Raiders thus far. In the Eagles, I thought the Eagles were going to be horrible too. So yeah, they qualify, but they actually still have a shot to be horrible. They're 4-4 right now, and they could easily see their season go down in flames quickly. We'll see. Hashtag RG3 hashtag Smoking at 3 says Lions and Raiders. Mind Draw says I did not expect the Cowboys to go so coming from the 4-12 with a couple of rookie starters. Obviously they're a front runner here. Captain Spartan 04 says Cowboys and actually the Titans. Yes, I know the Titans don't really stand out, but I think they do. I didn't think they do anything this year. I don't think most people did. And the fact that they were 4-4 going into last week's game versus San Diego with a chance to get over 500 and get closer to the first place, that speaks volumes as to how well the Titans have been playing this season. And Sean Hawk Talks NFL says AFC Dolphins, NFC Saints. Two good choices, especially after the start the Dolphins had to the season. Hell, the Saints as well. Both of those teams now sitting at 4-4, having an opportunity to compete. Andrew Kim says, but seriously, Raiders and Cowboys. Mind Draw says, believe it or not, with a not flashy draft class and injuries, Chiefs. I think everybody thought the Chiefs were going to be good this year. I had the Chiefs winning that division, so I don't think they qualify. The Black Al Bundy says, come on, did you really think the Raiders were going to be this good? Did you? Nah, I didn't. You're right. I didn't. I thought they would be. I wasn't one of the people drinking the Raiders juice, actually. So I thought the Raiders would be 8-8, 9-7. I didn't think they were ready for the show yet. And 7-2, hell no, I didn't see that coming. So you're right. You got me. BE says, okay, I'm here. What's up, BE? Victor Martinez says, comeback player of the year. I thought about that one, then I took it off because it's hard because how many of us actually know somebody that didn't play or has come back and has had an impact? I mean, it's hard to do comeback player of the year. So I could think of a couple off the top of my head, but I wouldn't put that on you guys. So let's go to the next one. The disappointing team. Same thing, same premise we just did with surprise team. Now I want your disappointing team for this season. Who did you think was going to be really good at the midpoint of the season thus far, and they just haven't lived up to your expectations to this point? I want an AFC team. I want an NFC team. Give me your two most disappointing teams to this point of the season. AFC, NFC. For me, I had the Pittsburgh Steelers going to the Super Bowl. And the fact that they're at 4-4 right now and they can't stay healthy and they're struggling and in their losses they've looked really bad. They're really disappointing to me right now. I had such high hopes for them, and after first 2 weeks of the season and destroying teams, and then going to Philly and getting trounced, and just the way that they've lost this season, unimpressive. The injury to Ben, what's new? I'm really disappointed in the Steelers in the AFC. And in the NFC, who saw the 15-1 Carolina Panthers regressing to the point where, yeah, they lost Josh Norman, and yeah, we knew the defense was going to take a huge step back. But we still said, hey, defense is still good enough. They got Cam Newton. They're still good. They're going to win games. Who saw them starting the season 1-5? To me, they got to be in that discussion as the most disappointing team, not just in the NFC, but as a whole in the league. What do you guys have? Arizona, obviously, in that conversation as well. Green Bay. There are a number of teams that fit the criteria. Want to hear from you guys. Let's see what you guys have to say. Let's see what you guys have to say. Black Al Bundy says, I have to be biased and throw my Vikes in there for a surprise team before they started shitting the proverbial bed. Yeah, they would have definitely been on this list, but I thought they were going to be good, to be honest with you. But since this losing streak, this doesn't feel the same. Andrew Kim says, Dennis Pitta. Yeah, but Dennis hasn't been that strong. You know, I could think of other players that have come back and been better. Jordy Nelson, i.e. Vernon Davis, who wasn't hurt, but he was invisible last year. He's playing well for the Redskins. I mean, there are other options out there. Pitta has been okay, but that Ravens offense is so bad that you can't give anybody any credit off that offense right now. Enrique Valencia says, my Colts and Packers. The Colts definitely. I really, that was some juice that I was sipping. I actually knocked back a couple of Colt cans of optimism juice. And I ended up throwing those up in the toilet a couple weeks later, man. The Colts have really let me down this year. I thought they were going to be 11-5 and win the AFC South. And they're nowhere near the team I thought they were going to be this year. And the Packers definitely qualify, as I mentioned before. Andrew Kim says, Jags and Panthers. I wasn't one of those people drinking the Jags juice, so I don't think that the Jags, in my mind, qualify for me. But for you guys who thought the Jags were going to be good, absolutely. They qualify. And the Panthers, for me, no brainer. Absolutely. BE says Cardinals in the NFC and the Steelers in the AFC. Cardinals definitely qualify. I think a lot of people thought that they would be one of those big powerhouse teams in the NFC, and they've been anything but. They've been inconsistent, much like the Steelers, the other team he picked from the AFC. Just inconsistent as inconsistent gets. You don't know what you're getting from week to week from those teams. One week they show up and defensively they're lights out. The next week they show up and they can't stop anybody. You just don't know what you're getting from week to week with those teams. Offensively, they've both been somewhat disappointing. Those teams qualify. Eduardo O'Neill says Cards and Jags. Victor Martinez says Steelers and Panthers. Absolutely. Protect428 says Jags and Panthers and Cards in the NFC. I don't have a problem with you tying up two teams in the NFC. Both of those teams, to me, are definitely disappointments, huge disappointments in the NFC. Those are the two teams in the NFC Championship game a season ago, believe it or not. Sean Hawk talks NFL. NFC Packers, good one in the AFC. The Cincinnati Bengals. Who saw these guys struggling like they have this season? As bad as this division is, the AFC North is, someone should have run away with it, whether it be Pittsburgh or even Baltimore started 0-3, but I knew that was a phantom 3-0 when Baltimore started the season undefeated. I knew that was because look at their competition at the time. Bills, Jags, Browns. No one was falling for that trap. Then they proceeded to lose 4 straight. But Cincinnati was supposed to be better. And they were supposed to have a chance to run away early, and they struggled out of the gate. That's a good one, Sean. Mondraw says, I expected so much more from the Jags with that draft class and the Dolphins. Yes, they're getting good, but that roster could have gotten 6 wins maybe by now. I never was sold on Miami, so I don't feel the same way you do. But and neither do I on the Jags. But, again, if you thought the Jags were going to be good, then they definitely qualify for you. The Black Al Bundy says the AFC would have to be the Jets, seeing how they missed the playoffs by 1 game last year. And in the NFC, a tie for the Panthers and the Cardinals. I agree with your NFC. I disagree with your AFC. They got Ryan Fitzpatrick at quarterback. Last year was an aberration. That's not who Ryan Fitzpatrick has been throughout his career. That was a once-in-a-lifetime season for him. It won't happen again, as you've seen this year. So I didn't believe in the Jets going into the season. Panthers and Cards definitely a tie in the NFC. I can go for that. RG3 hashtag smoking that 3 says, my Browns and Bucks. The Browns, no. The Bucks, maybe. I wasn't a Bucks guy before the season. I know a lot of people who thought the Bucks could be good. I wasn't high on either one of those teams. Tristan Brown says Panthers and Steelers. Those are my 2 teams. So I definitely am in agreement with you. Captain Spartan 04 says, yeah, definitely Panthers and Jags. That Jags juice was so good. I wasn't going to put it down. Now I'm sick to my stomach, as you should be. Shame on you. You overindulged in some bad juice. Go ahead, throw it up. You have my permission. Andre Mogul says, Green Bay and the Steelers. I can get with both of those for sure. Enrique Valencia says, Andrew Luck for comeback player of the year. I could get with that. I could go for Andrew Luck, comeback player of the year maybe. BE says he'll have his picks in later tonight. No problem. And Protect428 says, thought the Bengals were going to be bad. Offense is lacking explosive weapons. If you remember what I said in your AFC North breakdown, you did predict that. I just thought that they were going to be hurt by the offseason moves and lack thereof. But I just said that division didn't scare me. I thought they would have a shot. And I was right about the division, but I was wrong about the ability for Cincinnati to get it done. So, with that being said, that's going to wrap up my mid-season awards. Thank you guys for chiming in there. That was a great segment. We're going to move on to what has become a big ritual for us and the highlight of the show. Obviously, you know what I'm talking about. You already know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Louie Tee versus the world.
Of the world, Craig. Shit, not just the city, the world.
Louie Tee versus the world. Come get some.
I am the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be.
All right, so I'm slacking on my pimping on the Louie Tee versus the world segment this week. Like I said, I had a lot going on and made some changes to some things. So I didn't put my overall record and I didn't change it and all of that stuff. I'll have all that stuff updated for you next week. But I went 8-5 this week. Not bad, not great, but it's better. You know, I've been really struggling over the last couple of weeks. So this is better. I'm not in danger of the Mendoza line. I'm not in danger of Dunce capping it this week. I feel comfortable at 8-5. I know someone did worse than 8-5. So I feel good about 8-5. I don't feel great about 8-5. And that's the difference. I want to feel great about my picks, not good. Good isn't good enough for me. I'm looking for great every week because, let's face it, I want greatness. I don't strive for goodness. I strive for greatness. And I haven't been great since week 6 or so. Week 6, 11-4. It's the last time I was great. And much like Donald Trump, I'm trying to make America great again. I'm not trying to make America great again. I'm trying to make my picks great again, man. That's my new slogan. Making my picks great again, damn it. And so I'm looking to do that this week, and you'll see my picks later on. I'm going to tell you in advance, I'm going to warn you. This is not the week for making my picks great again, but we're going to see what happens. But let's go through the picks last week that were made. Atlanta, Tampa Bay, everybody should have got that one right. There was no excuse to get that one wrong. I had Atlanta. Dallas at Cleveland, again, no reason to get that one wrong. I had Dallas. I was on the right side of that. Kansas City at home versus Jacksonville. I got that one right as well. Jacksonville was game and tried to steal that game, but they didn't. Miami versus the Jets. I got that one right as well. So I started off well. 4 straight to start. Then things got rocky on me. Minnesota didn't take care of business. I thought I had that game in the basket. I literally was looking at that game and I said, okay, got that one. And lo and behold, they blew it at the end. It's for my first loss. Philadelphia at the Giants. I just figured that the Eagles would find a way to win that game, but it proved out to be that the Giants are the better team. And I think the Eagles are who I thought they were at the beginning of the season. Not a very good team, lacking in talent. It's starting to show through, and it showed in that game, and they lost. That's my second loss. Then Pittsburgh, they wet the bed in that game. They were down 21-0. They were lifeless for much of that game. There was no intensity, no offensive continuity or rhythm whatsoever until late in the ball game. That gave me my third loss. Carolina got it done versus the Rams over in L.A. Got me a win there. New Orleans got it done versus San Francisco like they were supposed to. Green Bay, very disappointed in their performance. Aaron Rodgers has come out and said that the team lacked intensity, and now all of a sudden Mike McCarthy is supposedly on the hot seat because of the team's performance this year. Whatever, stop your nonsense. But Green Bay gives me my 4th loss there. I picked Denver on Sunday night. That was a mistake. I would do it again a million times, though. I didn't know if the Raiders were ready for that kind of big spotlight, big stage. Were they ready for that kind of environment? And they showed me that they were more than ready and capable in that environment to thrive. And so that's my 5th loss. And then Seattle took care of business on Monday night. Wasn't pretty, but it was gritty and a W. And that got me to 8-5 in week number 9. So with that being said, let's get to your picks and see what you guys did in this week's Louie Tee versus the World Pick'em. So we're going to get to your picks. I got to pull up your picks and see what you guys did. I'm pretty sure the upper room is going to be full. I hear a lot of you guys talking about 10 this and 10 that. So I'm expecting quite a few of you guys to venture up. I left the door unlocked. I didn't even lock it this week. So you guys can go right on in. But I do have a couple of security guards standing in the front just in case a couple of you stragglers think you can mosey on in. Not happening. Got to show your 10 win card to get in. So let's get to these picks. And let's start talking about what you guys did in week number 9. So let the games begin. We're scrolling all the way down to the bottom. And we start with, let's see. We start with here. Start with Captain Spartan 04. He says, week 9 picks, leaving it right here after Monday night. So let my terrible luck come right now. Let's do this. Seahawks. Let's see. Is this? He's got Seahawks. So that's good. Raiders, Panthers. Chiefs will run. We'll see. Speaking of Chiefs, I'm picking the Chiefs. He says Saints. So we're good right now. So let's see. Seahawks, Chiefs. Seahawks, Raiders, Panthers, Chiefs, Saints, Lions. Nick, are you okay? Check your blood pressure. So he's perfect right now. Cowboys, and the hashtag and the curse. Bucks was his first loss. Eagles, his second loss. Jets, his third loss. He says Jay Ajayi Fitz going to prove me wrong. Chargers, Packers for his 4th loss. And he said, and last, what the hell was Landry doing out there? Steelers over Ravens, his 5th loss. So he too went 8-5 after starting off very impressively. I think he ran off the first 6 or 7 games straight and then hit a rough patch towards the end. He deserved to lose 5 games, though. He picked the Bucks on Thursday Night Football. We all kind of clowned him last week for that. Vlasic says, Week 9 NFL predictions. Falcons, Steelers, 1. Cowboys, Chiefs, Dolphins, Vikings, 2. Giants, Saints, Rams, 3. Chargers, Packers, 4. Broncos, 5. Seahawks, didn't do good last week, but I'm coming back strong, he says. 8-5. Solid. Not too strong, but strong enough. Nick Riley says the following. Vikings, 1. Need to get our ish together. Well, you didn't. Falcons, Steelers, 2. He said, this game is very sketchy to me. Cowboys, got it done. Chiefs, Dolphins, Eagles, 3. Didn't want to pick this game at all, he says. Panthers, Saints, Packers, 4. See what else he's got. Chargers, Broncos, 5. He said Raiders kind of want to pick the Raiders, but that defense stinks. And then Seahawks. So 8-5 for Nick Riley as well. Andrew Kim, my man AK, says Week 9 picks. Falcons, Jets, 1. Eagles, 2. Chiefs, Vikings, 3. Cowboys, Ravens, Saints, Panthers, Chargers, Packers 4, Broncos 5, Seahawks. He said, I had a feeling the Lions would win after I saw who was out for the Vikings. Didn't have the balls to pick them, though. Jets almost had the upset, and looking back at it, the Giants on paper look better than the Eagles, so I should have picked them. And I don't know what happened with the Packers. Damn, another potential 8-9 week win, or another 8-9 win week. Hopefully not 7 wins below the Mendoza line. You didn't go below the Mendoza line. You're fine. It's another 8 win week, like you said. You're the Jeff Fisher of this thing, man. Just get comfortable and winning 8 or 9 games every week, which isn't a bad existence. It's actually pretty solid. That means I know it was a guy last year that made picks on my program, and I forgot his name. It might have been Sarge. And I always used to say, the one guy, like, we would all fluctuate with our picks, but the one guy that I knew was going to remain constant was Sarge. Sarge was going to win anywhere from 8 to 10 games, never go over 10, never go under 8. You're pretty much in that same boat, AK. Every week I show up, I know AK isn't going to win less than 8, isn't going to win more than 9. You're a solid guy. I know what I'm getting from you every week. And when you got 12 or 13 games on the slate, being an 8 or 9 winner isn't the worst thing in the world. It's when you start to have these 15 and 16 game slates when everybody's playing and you got 8 or 9, that's when it's bad. I expect you to step it up, though, by the time we get there. Sean Mack says, let's hope I continue to do well this week. Tough week to choose this week. Lots of family business. It was a ton of family business, which makes it even harder to pick. Here are my official Week 9 NFL pick'ems. Falcons, Ravens. He puts that as his upset, and he was correct. Cowboys, Chiefs, Jets, 1. Giants, Vikings, 2. He said, really, really iffy on this, and he was right again. He picked the Jets as the upset. They got him caught up. That's 2 losses. Panthers, Saints, Chargers, Packers, 3. Broncos, 4. He says, predicting at least 5 sacks against Carr. That was off. They only sacked him once in that game. And Seahawks over Bills, so he just missed out on the upper room. 9-4 for Sean Mack, who is getting better and better as the weeks go by. Big Blue View, Week 9 NFL picks. Falcons, Vikings, 1. Steelers, 2. Dolphins, Cowboys, Chiefs, Eagles, 3. Taking this one for the team, he says. And you did, man. Sometimes you got to do that. And it worked out well for you. Plus, the Eagles always seem to beat us at the Meadowlands. That was my logic. That's why I fell. Nonetheless, 3. Rams, 4. Saints, Chargers, Packers, 5. Raiders, Seahawks, 8-5 for Big Blue View. Not bad, man. At least you avoided the fire down below, man. I got a fire started for anybody that wants to travel down below. Shouldn't be anybody below the Mendoza line. Turned out to be a pretty calm week. But if you wanted to be a little ridiculous and outlandish with your picks, I made a fire down below. It's a little fire started down there. It may go out. So I can't tell you if it's still going on down there or not. I'm not going back down there to find out. Cubone football, Tampa, that's 1. He deserves it. Starting off with Tampa. Baltimore, Dallas, Kansas City, Miami, Minnesota, 2. Giants, New Orleans, Los Angeles, 3. Tennessee, 4. Green Bay, 5. Oakland, Seattle. So he ends up with 8-5. He always ends up with a solid record, but he just takes a random way to get there. Like, he doesn't take the direct exit to get off the interstate and get there. He drives past the exit, gets off at the next exit, busts a U-turn and comes back up and still gets to the destination. He just gets there a couple more minutes later than he should have. Ra Flacco says, Week 9 picks, I want in, LOL. Okay, well, you in, son. Let's see what you did. Bucks. Starting off bad. Lions, that's a way to redeem yourself, though. Steelers, 2. Dolphins, Cowboys, of course, my Kansas City Chiefs. Eagles, 3. Panthers, Saints, Chargers, Packers, 4. Broncos, 5. Bills. Ooh, he had the eyeballs. Bills, 6. 7-6 for Ra Flacco. Not bad. Not bad at all. You avoided going down below, but great with the pick, 7-6. Archangel. I want to say Archangel was the only one to travel upstairs to the upper room and have himself a ball last week. So let's see how he follows up being the man last week. with his picks for week number 9. Let's see. He says, okay, here we go again, working in the lab, trying to get back to that sweet taste of victory yet again. So, this man was feeling himself. He was on cloud 9. Let's see what he did in week number 9. Here we go. Atlanta, Dallas, Kansas City, Miami, Minnesota, 1. Philly, 2. He said, don't be shocked if Giants win. And they did. Carolina, San Diego, Seattle, Denver. That's 3. He said, this is family biz, so I wouldn't be surprised if Oak came away with the victory here. Also had a hard time with this, but the last men, I'm going to say 49ers. First pick was the Saints. You should have stayed with the Saints. That's 4. And this was my toughest pick of all, but something is telling me be more, so I'm going out on a limb with them. So he would have been in the upper room again, but he picked the 49ers, and they couldn't sustain the first half play, and they couldn't play any defense. And so Archangel just misses out. He walked up the steps like, hey, fellas, I'm in the VIP. And they said, hey, stop. Let me see your card. He said, come on, what you got to see my card for, man? Y'all know how I get down, party. Let me in there, party. Like, yo, what's up? They're like, nah, this is a 9 card. I need a 10 card, man. Come on, y'all. Seriously? Y'all not going to let me in after all the fun we had last week? That was last week, man. This is this week. So he outside looking in, man. The security guards didn't let him in. Nobody's in there right now, but that's going to change soon, I bet. Carmen Rana. Look, Carmen been hot, man. Carmen been hot. Let me see what Carmen Rana talking about. Falcons, Ravens, Cowboys, Chiefs, Dolphins, Vikings, 1. Giants, Panthers, Saints, Packers, 2. Chargers, Broncos, 3. Seahawks. I told you this man is hot. That's 3. 10-3 for Carmen Rana. I'm going to write his name down so I don't forget. Carmen been smoking hot, man. Last 3 out of 4 weeks, I think that man been in the upper room. Right now, Carmen Rana has been absolutely on fire. And they did it again. Falcons, Ravens, Cowboys, Chiefs, Dolphins, Vikings, 1. Giants, Panthers, Saints, Packers, 2. Chargers, Broncos, Seahawks. Yep. Let me count them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 games indeed. So Carmen Rana, the first to travel upstairs to the upper room. Go ahead, get comfortable, man. Do your thing. You're going to have some company this week. You can bank on that. BE says, again, only 13 games. Got to make every game count. I'm going for that crown. Here are my Week 9 NFL predictions. Falcons, Steelers, 1. Cowboys, Chiefs, Dolphins, Vikings, 2. Giants, Carolina, Saints, Colts. Ooh, nice one. Chargers, Broncos, 3. Bills, no. Damn it, man. I thought you had it. 9-4 for BE. Bills weren't able to get it done. Damn it, man. BE tried to sneak in. Damn, boy, you were close. He tried to climb in through a side window. The alarm went off. They had to come inside and come get his ass. Come on, BE, you know better than that, man. You were in there. Then you picked the Bills. That's why the alarm went off. You tripped the alarm. Pick the damn Buffalo Bills. They had to come in and get you out of there, man. Threw you out like Jazzy Jeff. Ah. Damn it, BE. Thought you got in there. RWF 1984 says Bucks over Falcons. That's just a no-no right there. Off the bat, starting off with a fat, ugly, nasty loss on Thursday night. This can only get worse from here. Let's see. Ravens, Cowboys, Chiefs, Dolphins, Vikings, 2. Eagles, 3. Panthers, Saints, Packers, 4. Chargers, Raiders, Seahawks. So not bad. 4, 9-4. Would have been 10-3 if you would have been smart on Thursday night, but it's all good. RW, much like BE and Archangel, thought he was getting in. And they had to deny him. Access denied. Access denied. Can't get in, man. You keep on knocking, but you can't come in. You know how it go, man. I don't even got to sing the song to y'all tonight. Eduardo O'Neal, Week 9, he says, I'm 3-5 picking my lines, and me and RWF 1984 had a blast being down below the Mendoza line. I'm coming after you, Lou. All right. All right. Falcons, Ravens, Cowboys, Chiefs, Dolphins, Vikings 1, Eagles 2, Panthers, Saints, Packers 3, Chargers, Raiders, Seahawks. Wait a minute. Did Eduardo just not only go from the outhouse, did he go to the penthouse in one fell swoop? Let's see this again. Falcons, Ravens, Cowboys, Chiefs, Dolphins, Vikings, that's 1, Eagles, that's 2, Panthers, Saints, Packers 3. Yes, he did. Let's count the games up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Hey, go ahead, Eduardo. Pack your bags, man. Go up there and have you some fun, man. Oh, man. Eduardo went from down below the Mendoza line all the way up to pottying. Under the potty line, man. That man up there doing a dang on, what's the damn thing under the stick, man? Y'all know what the hell I'm talking about, man. He over there getting down. Let me get under the stick. Oh, go have some fun, man. Save a drink for me, maybe for next week. I don't know. I like mine with a little umbrella at the top, too. Yeah. Keep it fresh for me. Y'all go ahead and pop some bottles, though, man. Eduardo, let me write your name down. I don't want to forget. Eduardo, man. Congratulations. See now. Luis Manzazari says, my picks for the week. Falcons, Cowboys, Chiefs, Dolphins, Vikings 1, Eagles 2, Wentz. He says, hashtag Wentz for president, hashtag 2020 Super Bowl MVP, hashtag 2020 Republican nominee, hashtag Wentz wagon. Woo! A lot of hashtags. All right, that's 2 losses. Ravens, Saints, Packers 3. He says, Lou making the beatbox sound. Go, Pack, go! Go, Pack, go! And then he's got the San Diego Superchargers, Raiders, and Seahawks. Did he just get in? Did Luis Manzazari, all the way from Mexico, just get in the upper room? Let's find out. Let me do this again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So he's got all 13 games. Falcons, Cowboys, Chiefs, Dolphins, Vikings 1, Eagles 2, Ravens, Saints, Packers 3, Chargers, Raiders, Seahawks. Yes, that man just got in. Luis Manzazari is in the upper room. I told you there's going to be a lot more of y'all getting in there. Man, go have yourself a blast, man. Go have some fun, man. Don't worry about me. I'll catch up with y'all later, man. Go have some fun, man. Y'all boys doing it up big this week. Money Miz says, week 9 winners, Falcons, Vikings 1, Steelers 2, Dolphins, Cowboys, Chiefs, Eagles 3, Panthers, Saints, Chargers, Packers 4, Raiders, Seahawks. He just missed it by a game. If you stayed away from the Steelers and preferably the Steelers and the Giant Eagles, you probably had a chance to get double digits this week. It was not a tough week if you didn't get those 2 wrong. If you stayed clear of those, it was 10 wins. If I would have picked those 2 games, I would have had 10 wins. That's the difference between 10 and 9 and 8 this week is, did you pick the Steelers and or the Eagles? Sid K says, Vlad the man back at it, was too close to the Mendoza line last week, so time to be on that top shelf. That man trying to go get the big stuff, man. He trying to go get the upper room, top shelf liquor. He trying to go make himself one of those strong bomb drinks. Let's see if he's able to do that, man. Or is he going to be outside drinking out of a flask? We're going to find out. Week 9 picks. Falcons, Lions, Steelers 1, Dolphins, Cowboys, Chiefs, Giants, Panthers, Saints, Titans 2, Colts, Broncos 3. Oh, man, he made some good picks. So, Steelers 1, Titans 2. That Colts one was huge. That got him over the top. Broncos 3. Let me count them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So, Sid K, a.k.a. Vlad, joining you guys in the upper room, man. I told you, it's a lot of space in it. It's very spacious. Enough for all of y'all to get down, man. Have yourselves a blast. Last week, the room was empty, basically. It was one dude in there. So it's plenty of stuff in there plenty to eat, plenty to drink. There's an unlimited supply in there. Y'all knock yourself out, man. I can hear the music, man. Boy, it looked like a good time up there. I can't wait to get back in there. I ain't even going to embarrass myself and go up there and try to act like I'm getting in. I got 8. I'm going to just stay down here and look. It looked fun, man. It sound fun. Oh, I can hear them in there yelling and screaming, man. Damn. Don't worry. I'm going to get in there soon. I'm trending in the right direction. Sunday Co. Week 9 picks. Falcons, Ravens, Vikings, 1. Dolphins, Giants, Cowboys, Chiefs, Saints, Panthers, Chargers, Packers, 2. Broncos, 3. Bills, 4. Damn, he was hot. And then he was not. At the bottom, 9-4 for Sunday Co. No, you can't go in. Ryan Smith. All right, trying to get back to the top here. Let's get it. Falcons, Steelers, 1. Cowboys, Chiefs, Dolphins, Giants, Lions, Panthers, Saints, Chargers, Packers, 2. Raiders, Seahawks. Damn, did that man just go 11-2? This Ryan Smith cat came in the first week, got double digits, fell off last week. Did this dude just get 11-2? Let's do that again. Falcons, Steelers, 1. Cowboys, Chiefs, Dolphins, Giants, Lions, Panthers, Saints, Chargers, Packers, 2. Raiders, and Seahawks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Wait, let me do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, he just went 11-2, folks. I got to bust out the calculator because we got to see if this man qualifies to get to that throne. So Cubone went 12-3. That's how he got up there. So now we got to do some math here. So Cubone was at 80% clip. Ryan Smith just went 11 out of 13. We got ourselves a new king of the throne, my friends. Ryan Smith just hit the king of the throne at 11-2. Ryan Smith is the leader in the clubhouse this week. And not only is he the leader in the clubhouse, he just unsacked Cubone football from the king of the throne. That sign will look different next week. Ryan Smith, we're not done yet this week. Somebody could unseat him. But right now, Ryan Smith is kicking ass and taking names. Get out of the way, bitches. Ryan Smith is coming into the upper room, and he's got VIP treatment. Y'all move out the way. Watch out. Okay? Don't make me tell you again, or I might have to get the security guards to start bouncing a couple of y'all cats. Move out the way. Ryan Smith is coming through, and he's going straight to the VIP, man. Don't come knocking on the door. Top bottles. He's popping bottles. He's got Chateau de Brion, and he's got every single thing you could imagine up in the VIP lounge, man. Y'all get at him. He's the king of the throne. Right now, we still got some more picks to go through. Caleb Hazard says Falcons, Vikings, 1. Steelers, 2. Dolphins, Cowboys, Chiefs, Eagles, 3. Panthers, Saints, Chargers, Packers, 4. Raiders and Bills, 5. 8-5 for Caleb Hazard. Robbie Sohal says, so I'm going to keep with my survivor pick, see how far I can go. I'll leave them here. So he says, Falcons, so dicey right off the bat, but he got it. Vikings, just so the Lions will win. So he did a little bit of that Jedi mind trick, and it worked out for him. So that's 1. Ravens, Dolphins, Cowboys. His survivor pick was the Chiefs. Giants, Rams, 2. Niners, 3. Chargers, another dicey one, going to roll with the home team. Packers, 4. Broncos, another tough one, but it's their first matchup and easily the best defense the Raiders have faced so far. So Oakland has no defense of their own. 5. And then the Bills, 4th tough one this week, but let's call it a Monday night special. He had a Monday night special 2 weeks ago with the Chicago Bears beating the Vikings. Didn't work out for him this week. 6 losses, 7-6 for Robbie Sohal. Not his best work at all. But his buddy is putting in work, Ryan Smith, who just unseated Cubone football from the king of the throne. DG Production says, week 9 picks. I got a feeling about this week. Falcons, Lions, Eagles, 1. Dolphins, Chiefs, Boys, Steelers, 2. Saints, Panthers, Packers, 3. Chargers, Broncos, 4. Seahawks. He almost got up there. Not quite there yet, DG, my friend. 9 and 4. You know the drill. Keep on knocking. Still can't come in. It's okay. You can come on down here with me, man. You ain't 8 and 5. You 9 and 4. But we all outside anyway. It's all good. You know. Damn. What up, Ryan? What up? Yeah. Yeah, man. Congratulations. All right? Nah, don't come out here, man. You stay in there, man. Have fun, man. Don't worry about me. I'll be all right. I'll be all right. DB88243 says, week 9 picks, let's go. I was just talking to Ryan Smith. He was yelling at me from the VIP of the upper room, man. Yeah, that man's having some fun up there, man. I think he's drunk, too. I don't know. He was talking about coming outside. What the hell you coming outside for, man? Stay up there, man. Don't come out here to me. I'm out here. I'm losing out here, man. You winning in there. Stay in there. Falcons, Vikings, 1. Steelers, 2. Dolphins, Cowboys, Giants, Chiefs, Panthers, Saints, Chargers, Packers, 3. Raiders, Seahawks. Let's run through these again. Vikings, Steelers, 1, 2. Dolphins, Cowboys, Chiefs, Giants, Panthers, Saints, Chargers, Packers, 3. Raiders. So he's got 3. Let's see if he got all the games. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So DB88. Double digits. 88, 2, 4, 3. I think that's his first time getting into the upper room, man. Go on in. Go ahead on in, man. Flash your 10-win card, your double-digit card. Go on in, man. Have a blast. They're going to stamp it just to say you made it. Go ahead and stamp it. That stamp allows you to go in and out the upper room as you so please. Just for this week, though. That stamp erases. After you take one bath, it's gone. You got to do it all over again. Go ahead and stamp his wrist, though. Let him in. Zach Randolph. Zebo. Who? Zebo. I'm going to just go ahead and tuck mine in. Week 9 picks. Time to dominate as Zach Randolph would. All right. Let's see. Falcons. Vikings. 1. Steelers. 2. Dolphins. Cowboys. Chiefs. Eagles. 3. Panthers. Saints. Chargers. Packers. 4. Broncos. 5. Seahawks. 8 and 5 for Zach Randolph. It wasn't a double-double, but he was able to still produce at a high enough level to stay above the Mendoza line. Sean Hawk talks NFL. See what my man Hawk did. Falcons, Ravens, Cowboys, Chiefs, Dolphins, Vikings, 1. Giants, Panthers, 49ers, 2. Packers, 3. Chargers, Raiders, Seahawks. So it looks like my man Sean Hawk, before I write him down, let me go through them again one more time. Ravens, Falcons, Cowboys, Chiefs, Dolphins, Vikings, 1. Giants, Panthers, Niners, 2. Packers, 3. Chargers, Raiders, Seahawks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. My man Sean Hawk. Go on in there, man. Upper room. Go ahead in there, man. Do your thing. You deserve it, man. We were down there cold as hell below the Mendoza line just a couple weeks ago, man. Go ahead, man. I'll catch up with you. Don't worry about me, man. Don't worry about little old me. I'll just stand outside. Watch y'all have a party up there, man. It's party time. Oh, it's party time. They up there having a party. They ain't invite me, though. That's all right, though. It's all good. It's all good, man. One thing I will not be is a hater or jealous. Because my time will come. It's all good. Brown Shoe T2 says, Falcons, Vikings, 1. Ravens, Dolphins, Cowboys, Chiefs, Giants, Rams, 2. Saints, Chargers, Packers, 3. Broncos, 4. Seahawks. So he just missed out by 1. Brown Shoe T2, 9 and 4 this week. Again, another one of these dudes just barely missing out. This was an easy week now that I'm looking at it. Looking back at some things. Again, Detroit winning was huge for a lot of the people that made it in. So were the Ravens winning. I just didn't see that happening. But even if it went the other way, a lot of other people would have been in the upper room. So, mean, this is a pretty good week for you guys. Andre Mogul says, first time doing my picks for hashtag Louie T Live. Do pretty good at NFL.com. Ayo, let's go. All right, let's see what you got. Atlanta, Philly, 1. KC, Detroit, Dallas, Baltimore, upset. Good pick. New Orleans, Carolina, San Diego, Green Bay, 2. Oakland, close win. Seattle, blowout. Wait a minute. Did this man just lose one game or did he lose 2? Atlanta, Philly, 1. KC, Detroit, Dallas, Baltimore, New Orleans, Carolina, San Diego, Green Bay. Okay, so he lost 2. Oakland and Seattle. Let's see if he got all 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Hold on. Did he miss a game? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, he missed a game. I don't know what game he missed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. But he's missing a game. So he's 10-3 either way. He still made it to the upper room, but he had a chance. Andre Mogul had a chance to get his name up there as a king of the throne, but he just missed out because he left off a game. I'm trying to figure out which one. Let me see if I can see which one it was. Looks like he didn't pick the Cowboys or the Browns. That's the game he left out. But 10-3, still in the upper room. Go on up there, man. Grab yourself a beverage, a couple of honeys. I seen some honeys go in there, man. Go have yourself a blast, man. First time doing it. Y'all give it up for Andre. First time coming in here, blazing us, dropping a dime on us. 10-3. Literally dropped the dime on us. Nah, he ain't snitching. He just dropped double digits on us. First time. Protect428 says, here are my week 9 picks. Sorry for being late. You made it in before I made the comment after it's being late, so you're good. Falcons, Cowboys, Giants, Seahawks, Packers, 1. Dolphins, Chiefs, Saints, Vikings, 2. Raiders, Panthers, Chargers, Ravens. This looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Good. That's 1. Good. 2. Good. Yeah, that's looks like 11-2. So if he's up there with Ryan Smith. Protect428 and Ryan Smith are your new kings of the throne. Y'all give it up, man. That's gonna do it for week 9. Cubone football is no more. There will be new names in that seat. Come next week. Ryan Smith, Protect428 will get their names up on the wall of fame. And in addition to that, even more so, a bigger honor. They're going inside that throne, man. They about to sit there, feet up, kicked up. They got that hat on, man. They're going to be the kings of the throne now. That's big boy right there. 11-2. 84% of their picks were correct. That's the mark now. That's what you got to beat. 84%. I'm going to put it right in the corner so we know moving forward. 84% is what you got to beat to get your name inside that king of the throne chair. So good week for many of you. Let's run through all of the people that's up there partying in the upper room right now, man. That music is loud. So you got Andre Mogul, Carmen Rana, Eduardo O'Neill, Luis Menzazari, Sid K, a.k.a. Vlad, DB88243, Sean Hawk, Ryan Smith, and Protect428 are your 2 VIP members. They upstairs in the booth, man, getting it in, having themselves a blast. Got everything you could imagine around them. Couple of nice cold bottles of Chateau de Brion on ice. Those boys living the life. Let's get to some of y'all comments before I give you my picks and get out of here, man. Wow. This is crazy. So let's get to your comments, man. I'm actually mad I ain't in the room now. After seeing how many of y'all went, I'm actually mad. I'm pissed off. It's like It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's a party in this. 9 of y'all in there, man. I'm pissed off. All right. Let's see. Brian Emerson says, man, Lou, you slacking on them picks. I am. And I'm about to step it up, though, man. I'm about to step it up. But I'm not confident in my picks this week either. So I don't know if this next week is going to be it, but I'm coming. And when I come, I'm going to come hard. Andrew Kim says, I haven't been great since week 3. Captain Spartan 04 says, don't read my picks. I want everyone to think I'm still undefeated, LOL. Nah, it's okay. Go ahead and read them. I was going to read them anyway. Once you put them in there, they're public knowledge and public domain. They are on display for everybody to see. Black Al Bundy says, how did Cubone football become king of the throne? I wasn't catching the program until like week 5 or 6. He went 12-3 in like week 4 or 5. And that's how he became king of the throne. All right. Protect 428 says, I hope that FBG Tony can chill sipping Moet in the upper room. Yeah. You doing more than sipping in the upper room, Chief. You in the throne, my man. You got your feet up. Sean Hawk says, I'm starting to turn the corner. Watch out, Louie Tee in the world. I see, man. You went up to the upper room without me. I thought we was road dogs, Sean. I thought we rolled together, man. We was cold together. I thought we rolled together. Sean said, nah, man. Better get your umbrella, man. Don't want to get rained on before you catch a brick. Better get that umbrella. He said, man, I'm going inside where it's nice and warm and the party is going on. No, you left me, Sean. How could you? All right, Protect, I should have picked the Ravens. I had a gut feeling about that game. If you'd have picked the Ravens, that would have been whoa. BE says, okay, just posted my week 10 picks. Cool. Got him. All right. BE says, one of those weeks I'm going to do something never done on the show before and go 16-0. That's not going to happen. I'm telling you right now. Somebody's going to slip up and clip you. Brian Emerson says, I blame the refs in that Bills Seahawks game. I hear you, man. I hear you. Captain Spartan 04 says, anyone threat to Cubone this week? More than a threat. That man is out. He has been impeached. Give me that damn crown and give me my dang on cane, boy. Get out of that seat. It's mine now. Eduardo O'Neal, we can't see you from up here. I know. I was yelling. It was an echo. Your man, Ryan Smith, was yelling out the VIP window. It was an echo. He was drunk. He couldn't even hear what I was saying anyway. Mind Draw says, they be up there finishing your Chateau de Brion. Man, they are killing it up there, man. It's an infinite supply. I ain't worried about that. I just want to sip. I just want to sip. But I can't even get in the damn room. And the security guards, they not having it. He tried to sneak in the side window. They went in and got his ass. Hemmed him up, too. Tossed him down the damn steps. Like Coming to America, man. It's a damn shame. Andrew Kim says, there's a corner from the Bucks named Ryan Smith, LOL. Yeah, there is. He's a rookie, too. Ryan Smith, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, is hot in them pick'ems. Man, that dude is kicking ass. He just came in and just started whooping ass. I'm like, whoa. This is crazy. Luis Manzazar said, oh, I'm sorry, man. It was, Luis Manzazar is from Brazil. Sorry, I said from Mexico. That was the other dude I was talking to that was up here, man, earlier. I'm sorry. Well, you getting it in from Brazil then, damn it. That's what's up. Hey, and ain't no soccer going on up there either, man. Just so you know. Vlasic says, have you ever been to FedEx Field? Are you planning to go this year? I've been before, at least 3 or 4 times. No, I'm not planning on going this year, though. All right. Andre Mogul says, damn it, man. I think I did leave the Dallas game off, but I definitely had to count. I know you did, but I got to dock you. But you could have been in the seat, too, chilling with them, man. I know you had Dallas. I know it, but you didn't put it down, though. You're still in the upper room, though. Just to think you would have been 11-2 with the rest of these dudes, man. What? Y'all killed it this week. Tristan Brown says, did you not get my picks? Let me go back up. Sometimes picks go into, yep, I got a couple of picks right here. Let me read them. They were in my spam. So I don't know why some picks go to my spam, but I'm going to read them off from where they are, and then I'm going to move them over. So, I got 3 more people's picks. Tristan Brown, I'm sorry. Here go your picks right here, man. Last week, probably a bad week for most of us, but I was still above the Mendoza line. But let's start fresh. I'm week 9. Here we go. He says, Dolphins will continue the winning streak against the Jets, who stink. Insert Louis impression here. LMAO. Stinks. Falcons, Steelers, 1. Cowboys, sorry, Sean Mack, you had your chance against the Jets. You're right. Chiefs, Vikings, 2. Eagles, 3. Panthers, Saints, Packers, 4. Chargers, Raiders, Seahawks. So 9-4 for Tristan Brown. You just missed out, man. Come on downstairs with me, man. Come on downstairs. Slump TV got his picks in the spam bucket. Falcons, Vikings, 1. Steelers, 2. Dolphins, Cowboys, Chiefs, Eagles, 3. Rams, 4. Packers, Chargers, Saints, Broncos, Seahawks. So he's got 5 losses, 8-5 for Slump TV. Right around there with me. And Anal Probe 9000 also in the spam bucket says, I'm going to get my name up there on that wall at very least by the end of the season, but I want Cubone's spot. Well, it's not his spot any longer. Let's see what you got. Also, if you don't want to keep dropping Anal Probe 9000 every time you say my name, you can substitute it with AP9K. Not trying to give myself a nickname or anything, just another opinion. Now, without much further ado, week 9 picks are, let's see what Anal Probe 9000. I don't have a problem saying Anal Probe 9000. Falcons, Vikings, 1. Dolphins, Chiefs, Panthers, Chargers, Steelers, 2. Cowboys, Giants, Packers, 3. Saints, Raiders. Scares me. He says that I think that offense is just good enough to outscore the Broncos offense. Only thing that scares me is that Raiders D not stopping the run. And Seahawks. He says for some reason I can see the Bills winning. All right. Hail to our beloved Redskins. Come out fresh from the bye. I think he got 3 right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So he's got the requisite number of games. 1 loss with the Vikings. 2 with the Steelers, 3 with the Packers, and that's it. So add Anal Probe to the upper room, man. Go ahead. They popping bottles. They got models. They got all that stuff up there, man. Go ahead and have yourself a blast, man. Didn't get your name up on the wall, but you did go upstairs to have a ball. Enjoy yourself, man. Celebrate. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of y'all in there now, man. Damn. Y'all got enough to run a 5-on-5 game of basketball in there. And I'm not one of the damn names. I'm upset. I'm not going to lie to you. I am pissed off at the fact that y'all boys up there having a damn blast and I couldn't get in. This is out of hand now. And I won't stand for it. Next week, I won't stand for it. All right. So I got your picks, Tristan. I'm sorry about that. It was in the spam, but I just read them off. The Black Al Bundy says, my apologies. I'm at work. I'm missing some of the program. How many of the crew made it to the upper room this week? Man, it's deep. 10 of those boys in there having fun, man. It stink up there, so many of them. It's funky up there. Those boys sweating, hot, nasty, funky, having a blast up there, man. Wish I was up there. BE says, I'm like you. I don't trust some of my picks this week, man. It's an ugly week, straight up. Captain Spartan 04 says, I know it's no longer college corner, but thoughts on Clemson offense declaring for the draft Watson, Gallman, Mike, and Artavis Scott. I knew they were going to do it. I knew this was it. You know, in football, you know, unless you got bread, unless your family got money, when you got a chance to go, you go. And they got a chance to play for the national championship last year. All of those players did. They might get a chance to play for it again this year. They ain't got nothing left to prove. Time to go make that money now. And so I knew those boys were going to declare. And if you're a guy like Wayne Gallman or Mike Williams or Artavis Scott, if your quarterback leaving, you don't need to stick around. Once he goes, you go. You don't want to stick around for the next dude. So that was a no-brainer. BE says, Man, Lou, there's a way to fix that spam. Almost cost someone a chance in the penthouse. Yeah, no, that's my fault. Because there's a blue tab up there that shows me that I got comments in the spam. I need to be able to see that and knock that out. So that's on my end. That's my fault. We got some bad bras, man. Hella liquor and more bras. That's for Protect. And Tristan Brown said, it's cool, man. Thanks for checking. No doubt, man. Y'all, they in there having a blast, man. That's, damn, man. I'm jealous. They just turned the damn light out now. There ain't even no light up there no more, man. This some bullshit, man. Straight up. Anyway, I'm pissed off. That's going to do it for me tonight, man. These boys, they in there, man. It's 10 up. They 10 deep in there. And I'm not one of them. This is insane. We got 2 dudes with 11 wins. This is crazy. I'm going to fix it next week. I don't even like my picks, but I'm so pissed off, I'm going to fix it next week, man. I thank all of y'all for joining me tonight on the program, man. This has been a blast, as it always is. I still can't. This is crazy, man. Those boys are in the upper room. Them boys are turning it into the boom boom room. It's crazy. This is crazy. Anyway, send me your picks. We're going to do it again next week. Hopefully, I'm better next week because this is ridiculous. I'm just at a loss for words, man. Anyway, I thank you guys for joining me. Remember, if it happens in the National Football League, whether big or small, we cover it all here in the lab room on Louie Tee live. Remember, we changing the game one live feed at a time. This is crazy, man. Even my man Sean Hawk went in and left me. That's my road dog. It's my right-hand man, my ace boom coon. He normally right beside me. He said, hey, yo, sorry, Lou, but I got to go. And that man went upstairs and left me. How sweet it is. How sweet it is. How nice it must be. I ain't been there in weeks. I don't even know what that room looked like no more. In any event, I'm going to leave y'all with my picks for week number 10 in the National Football League. Hopefully, they're much better than week 9. And if they are, I'll be taking a trip upstairs. We got new kings of the throne. The game will never be the same. I will see you guys next week. Have a good one. See you for Thursday Night Football overtime tomorrow. Man, this was a crazy episode. A lot of winning, and it wasn't done by me. This is crazy. Here are my picks. See you next week. Who else could it be but me, your me, Louie Tee? This is Louie Tee versus the world. The good guy went 8-5 last week, man. Tough week. And it was better than the week before. And that's all I'm looking for right now is progress. When you're going through a little bit of a rut and a struggle, all you're looking for is progress. You know, I would love to tell you that I put up double digits. I got to the upper room last week, but I didn't, man. I was at the Mendoza line, man. But that was better than the week before last when I was under the Mendoza line. So, like I said, I'm looking for progress. I've gotten better the last 2 weeks. And even though that's not saying much, it's a start, you know, and I'm trending in the direction that I want to go. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't like my picks for this week. And it's not just my picks. I don't like the games this week because it's a lot of games with 2 teams, and the team that's supposed to win isn't at home, or it's 2 teams where you're like, come on, really? You're going to make me pick a winner here? For instance, Rams and Jets. Really? You're going to make me pick a winner in that game? Seriously? I have to do this? Do I have to? Houston Texans on the road versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Do I have to? Give me a pass on that one, please. I promise I won't use another one. These are the types of games. Now, if Houston was home, that's a no-brainer. They're 5-0 at home this year. But you put those boys on the road and all of a sudden they act like they don't know how to play football. That's the type of week it is. So you're going to have to pardon me with some of these picks. But in any event, this is what I do, man. I claim to be a prognosticator, so I'm about to prognosticate. I'm about to give you some winners in week number, I'm going to let you know, week number 10. I'm going to let you know this right now, though. If I come out of this thing smelling like roses, y'all ass is in trouble. I am going to be gloating until the cows come home. So y'all better hope that this week kicks my ass like I think it's going to. Because I'm going to act a damn fool if I get double digits with this nonsense they put in front of me this week. I'm just telling you right now. Just giving you a heads up, a little bit of a disclaimer, so you already know in advance, well in advance, that if I tear it up this week, you're going to hear about it. So, with that being said, let's run through these picks quickly. Cleveland at Baltimore on Thursday Night Football, family business. You know how that goes, man. I'm sticking with the Ravens on this one. I told you I'm not picking the Browns anymore this season. I don't think they're going to win a game. And they're probably going to beat someone. I don't know who that someone is. Maybe it's the Ravens. They were up big on those guys when they were in Cleveland earlier in the season. I'm not messing around with the Browns. Give me the Baltimore Ravens at home. Green Bay at Tennessee. This is a trap game if I've ever seen one. The Packers are struggling. This is another one of those games where I look at it and I say, if Green Bay was at home, I'd feel a lot more comfortable. Indy went into Green Bay and beat them, though, so I don't even know if that means anything. But bottom line is the Titans can win at home versus a struggling Packers team. But I'm not doing that. I'm giving me the Green Bay Packers on the road. Denver at New Orleans. Another one of these games I look at and I say, what am I supposed to do? What's a guy supposed to do? But I looked at Denver last week versus Oakland. I say, man, that didn't look good at all. And I look at the Saints and I say, man, you're missing some stuff, Denver. This is the wrong team to be missing some stuff against. Don't think Aqib Talib is going to be back with that back injury. I'm not sure if you're going to have all of the guys that you need out there to be successful defensively. Offensively, I don't think the Saints are afraid of you. I'm taking the New Orleans Saints. They beat Seattle, another good defensive team at home. Why can't they do it to another one in Denver? I'm taking New Orleans in that football game. Los Angeles at the Jets. I told you, don't make me do this. But you know what? I'm just going to pick the home team. Ryan Fitzpatrick plays. He doesn't play. Just give me the Jets because the other team's starting quarterback's name is Case Keenum. Enough said. Atlanta at Philadelphia. The Eagles play really good at home, and they've slayed some big boys at the crib. They beat an undefeated Pittsburgh Steelers team at home. They beat an undefeated Minnesota Vikings team at home. They could easily beat the Atlanta Falcons in this game. They've played that good at home, but I don't trust them. I'm going to take the Atlanta Falcons because I know they're not afraid to go on the road and smack a team in the mouth. They smacked Oakland in the mouth. Well, they won by 7, but they still won the game. And then they went and smacked Tampa in the mouth last week. So they've shown the ability to go on the road and beat teams. I think they can beat the Atlanta Falcons, the Philadelphia Eagles. Give me the Atlanta Falcons in that game on the road. Chicago at Tampa Bay. Look, the Buccaneers are in free fall mode right now. I don't trust them for anything. Mike Evans, concussion protocol. Will he play? If he can't play, who is Jameis Winston going to throw the ball to? Their running back situation, Doug Martin, I heard he's practicing. Is he playing? I don't know. Jaquiz Rogers, is he playing? I don't know. I don't know these things. Joe Hawley, is he playing? I don't know. I do know this. Bears are coming off a bye. They look damn good before the bye. Byes haven't been kind to teams this year. I'm still taking the Bears in this game. Next game, Minnesota at Washington. My boys coming off a bye. And I feel good about my boys right now. The Vikings are struggling right now. I feel good about my boys right now. Let me say it again. I feel good about my boys right now. Do I need to say anything else? You know I'm picking my boys in this game. Kansas City at Carolina. This is another one of these toss-up games. If Kansas City was at home, I'd feel a lot more comfortable. But I do feel a lot more comfortable that Alex Smith is back in this game. Carolina, the defense looks like it's improved and it's better. But the offense, I don't know. I'm not really sure. Yeah, give me Kansas City in that game. Houston at Jacksonville. I'm not messing around with Jacksonville. Even though I really think they can win this game, I'm not messing around with those boys. I've done it too many times this year. They burnt me each and every single time. Taking Houston on the road to win that game. Miami at San Diego. This is a really, really fascinating game. The loser of this game probably going to be eliminated from AFC playoff discussions, further discussions. Now, neither one of these teams are in that actual playoff picture right now, but a win in this game for someone is going to be huge because it's going to essentially put the other team behind them in the race to try to get into that AFC playoff picture. And I like this home team here. I like San Diego. The Dolphins and the Chargers seems like they've been playing each other for the last 3 or 4 years straight because they finish in the same spot in the division every year. So this is sort of turning into a matchup between familiar teams. I think they've played the last 2 or 3 years, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to take San Diego in this one. I like the way the Chargers are playing. The Dolphins are playing some good football. If the Chargers can stop the run, they got a real shot at beating the Dolphins in this game. I'm going to take San Diego. San Francisco at Arizona. I'm not picking, just like the Cleveland Browns rule, I have a San Francisco 49ers rule that states I'm not picking them anymore this season. Give me the Arizona Cardinals at home. Dallas at Pittsburgh. This might be the best game of the day and the best game of week number 10 when it's all said and done. We'll see. But Dallas playing some red hot football, winners of 7 straight. My gut says that they're going to win this game, but my head and my heart says that the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to find a way to get back on track because the Steelers are the best team in the AFC North. Despite what you have seen, what you may have heard, this is the best team in this division, and they're going to get back on track, I believe, in a major way. Not saying they're going to blow the Cowboys out and this isn't going to be a competitive game. What I mean by that is they're going to beat a team that a lot of people aren't giving them credit to beat. I think they're going to win this game at home versus the Dallas Cowboys and snap that 7-game winning streak. Give me the Pittsburgh Steelers at home. Seattle at New England. I don't trust the Seahawks right now. They look shaky. They're not standing on a solid foundation right now, defensively or offensively for that matter. They actually look pretty good on Monday night offensively, but I'm not really sure that that's something they can duplicate again against this New England Patriots team coming off of a bye. So 2 weeks to prepare for Seattle and a banged up Russell Wilson who isn't as mobile as he used to be sounds like a deadly recipe for Bill Belichick's dissection. Give me the New England Patriots on Sunday Night Football at home to take care of the Seattle Seahawks. And finally, Monday Night Football, Cincinnati Bengals taking on the New York Giants. Bengals coming off of a bye and a tie over in London. Meanwhile, the Giants coming off a huge, momentous win at home in the division versus the Philadelphia Eagles. This is a big game for both teams involved. If Cincinnati's serious about having a season, need to win this game. If the Giants are serious about still going after the NFC crown, need to win this game. Simply put, I got the Giants at home winning this game. I don't have a lot of confidence in Cincinnati. They haven't instilled any confidence in me this season. I'm going to take the Giants in this one. They're at home. They're a good team. I think they can pull this one out and get to 6-3 on the season. Those are my picks. Where are yours? Hopefully, this is a double-digit sheet here. I'm not confident. I'm going to tell you that. I'll tell you when I'm confident. You know I'm not afraid to tell you when I'm confident. I am not confident in these picks or these games, but I'm still a man, and I expect that I got a hot hand now. I'm starting to trend upwards. So hopefully, up, and away, these picks go, and I get double digits and go upstairs to the upper room next week. So we'll see how I do. Looking for your picks. How will you do? Have those picks in before Thursday Night Football. I'll see you next week. Have a good one.
Broncos won the Super Bowl when Peyton Manning retired. 49ers won 5 games and Tom Sula got fired. RG's in Cleveland and my Rams hit the West Coast. Be sleepless in Seattle cause that 12-man ain't beast mode. Oh yeah, I knew it was something I forgot to mention. Yeah, old Tom Brady about to get that suspension. Yeah, I know the Pats fans probably think that's whack. Yeah, but at the end of the day, your balls was flat. It's that time again. It's that time again to go hard in the offseason, cause we trying to win. We gon' go so hard, we don't take no days off. Hopefully one day it's all gonna pay off. Shout out your defense, they tissue, cause they soft. Catch them while they sleeping, we gon' sneak in the playoffs. I'm ready for some football, I don't know about you. Who else could it be?